No. My mic was muted. Sorry about that, guys. Hello. Welcome back to a very lovely, beautiful night for Rainbow Six Siege, where today we'll be able to see two teams from the winners bracket face off against each other to get that just that little bit closer to that grand final. But before we get into any of that, though, I'm Elijah Hartz.
And I'm KJ Assassin, and yes, it is the winner bracket semi-finals, Elijah. So a lot to be excited for. And these two teams, they were the top two of the regular season on the ladder. So I think it's going to be quite a interesting matchup tonight. Best of three format, though. So we haven't seen these two teams come up against each other in this format just of yet. So why not do it when it is that semi-final, that chance to go to that grand final? So whoever wins this game will progress to that grand final, and whoever loses will go down to that loser bracket semi-final. Now, Elijah, who do we have our money on taking this W?
I was a little bit torn up with my decisions on picking out both of these teams, as they have been the top teams for our regular season for quite a long time. They just showed out strong from start to finish. They did really good the entire way, but I had to go with Bandits here because I know, and I'm a little bit aware of as well, but a few changes are happening to Kill Squad, which when you're this late into the season, it changes the way that the team comp can really sit, the synergy and things like that. So I had to go with Bandits. They have been exceptional this entire tournament, and I got to say that they're going to be our winners for our semi-final. But Kill Squad, they have so much room to just show up at all. So it's a little bit of a 50-50, but from my prediction, I believe I predicted a 2-1 for Bandits.
Yeah, I think, Bandits, they had a rocky sort of end to, or like midway to the end of their regular season, and Kill Squad, they had a pretty good end to their season. So, it really depends on who's going to show up on the day. But like you said, there's been some changes to Kill Squad, and that could be a deciding factor. We saw that, certain changes can affect a team, and that was a little bit evident last night with Panic. It just didn't look like they knew how to play around with those sort of roster changes just yet. But that's what you work for, and you work on, and hopefully for Kill Squad, with the changes that they have, they can make do and maybe even take it the whole series. But I do believe that I also said Bandits 2-1. So I don't think a clean 2-0 like we've been seeing from a lot of these playoff games. But I think, in the end, Bandits will prevail.
Yeah, as you can see, both of us are leaning into Bandits at 2-1, and Chef Jeff going on the opposite, though, picking out Kill Squad instead, and he's the only one out of all of us who thinks that Kill Squad is going to take today's W. But Ling wrecking a 2-0, and most of us thinking that it's going to be a little bit closer to that and taking us to that deciding map, which I'm looking forward to seeing.
For sure. And speaking of maps, though, Elijah, we're going to get that up and see where we're going to be going to today. Potential of minimum of two maps, potential of three. So I just want a best of three, We only seen one with that Trident Nutty game. I want to see all three maps. For the first bans to come out, that'll be Clubhouse being banned, which is a very, very common map for bans. They love playing that map and are quite good at it. So good ban from Kill Squad there. And interesting one from Bandits banning Oregon, though, Elijah. I'd like to say that, Clubhouse, Oregon, they play quite similar, and I thought that Bandits, their playstyle sort of favors that Oregon map.
Yeah, interesting that was their open pick as well. Oregon being the open pick for Bandits, despite the fact that they've only banned it once in the open season. So that could be them sort of reading into how Kill Squad's playstyle is and wanting to avoid them on that map. Although we've seen Bandits hold up really well in frag-heavy maps like Oregon, the comfortability that it brings. So it could be a little bit of a 50-50 split, because these are the top two teams, and I think their playstyles really clash up against each other.
They do, but, Chalet and Cafe to follow, and then we first pick from each team, Border and Villa. So very frag-heavy maps for those minimum of two maps that we will be seeing. So it's going to be an interesting one, Elijah. And judging from the way that Kill Squad played, that sort of favors their playstyle, I'd like to say, a little bit more than Bandits. But when it comes down to it, Bandits do know how to frag out, so I wonder if they're feeling it today. But Theme Park and Bank to be the last two bans there, and our decider will be Skyscraper, and we've been seeing quite a lot of Skyscraper recently.
Yeah, the Decider map tonight, which Skyscraper, like you said, it is the most banned map from Kill Squad in the regular season. If you didn't know, so you think that Kill Squad are trying to say one or two things. They either don't know how to play Sky, or they are saving strats to really surprise us when that time hopefully comes that they can take us to that third map. But the two maps that are being picked, Villa and Border, both maps are the second most banned map for Bandits. But Villa is Bandits this time.
Yeah, it seems that, we're just seeing maps from bandits that we don't usually see. So I think, yeah, maybe we'll see them do really well. Maybe we'll see them sort of struggle a little bit. I guess we will find out. But Border to kick us off, and they will be on that defense first. But obviously, it is a frag-heavy map, and with the way that Border plays, I'd like to say it's probably one of the most balanced in terms of attack and defense. You could disagree, but I feel like most teams know how to attack, and you can pretty much get little to no control and find the round win if you just find the frags here and there. But being on that defense, a little bit more comfortable. Obviously, you do have that, timer and that clock to your advantage. And we'll see if bandits can really abuse that concept. But in terms of this map, what do we reckon the score's going to end up being, Elijah? You reckon it's a close one or a dominant one?
Yeah. No, I got to agree. I definitely think it's going to be a close one, especially with some of these boys on these teams as well. They got to learn from the big boys at Bliss, so you can imagine that they are quite comfortable on Border. So I think if they're able to adapt there and take what they learned from them, I think it'll be a really close map. We've seen commonly that the first maps always start off with a trade for trade. It's never really too distant. So I think Kill Squad Bandits, the way that they've been playing, they are the top team. So I think we're going to go to overtime to begin us off the pace.
That would be awesome if we go to overtime. We've seen some crazy plays these last few days when it does go to that overtime. So it'll be interesting. But, if we do predict that 2-1, then maybe both the first maps go to that overtime. But we've seen, in that third map, sometimes that stamina for some teams really, they start to really struggle and really buckle under the pressure. So it's really dependent on which team has the better, mental fortitude as well as that stamina. But I think we're just waiting on a few more to get into the lobby, and then we'll be ready to kick off this winner bracket semi-final. But operator bans, Elijah, on this map. We've seen some interesting ones these last few days when we've been seeing a bunch of these new maps. Do you reckon, target bans are going to be coming out, or something a little bit more interesting?
Well, it all really depends on how much homework both the teams have done on each other. So it could be a multitude of things. I got to say, with Border, I feel like it is one of the most diversified maps in terms of the bans that you can pick. One of the ones that you need to leave up, though. I mean, we've seen teams time and time again, you don't really like to have that mirror open on Border. So you could see that mirror just getting banned straight out. But with how comfortable these teams are and their fragging potential, they might just have a workaround for everything that potentially Bandits could throw at Kill Squad, because they are the team that are starting out on that defense first. But I could definitely see you wanting to get rid of that mirror, maybe even the Kiba barriers that his army has to play, but maybe even you want to work out with some denial as well, getting rid of an Echo, which we've seen some teams surprise us with in the past as well.
Yeah, that is true. We do know that Kill Squad, though, on their defense, some of those players, they love to play that Allah, so I wonder if that's an idea in mind. But Soulless, I feel like that's a big operator that we don't talk about enough when it comes to these two teams. I'm pretty sure Bandits, if they don't ban it, they love to use it. So I wonder if that will be a ban for them, or if that will be in the bans at all. But we see these lovely cameras to put a face to the names of these players. And we've got all of the side of Kill Squad, and then we get to see the lovely MML and Drift on the side of Bandits.
You gotta love the putting a face to the name. Speaking of no faces, though, Nock will be our very first attacker ban, though, so getting rid of that dangerous potential that she brings of being able to slip past the intel that the defenders have set up, default cams, bulletproof cams, any sort of intel that you can get that'll help you in favor. But second attacker ban to be rolled out, though, and it's getting rid of the candelas that Ying brings, so maybe wanting to get rid of the pressure that those candelas bring for those fast players that we've seen teams like these utilize over and over again.
Yeah, but Ying and Soulless are going to be banned off. So that's soulless. I knew that they were going to ban it. If they don't ban it, they definitely abuse it. So it being off the board, not able to spot those pre-placed drones as easily. You don't have that intel, and you're not able to stop those plants from below or the like. But Fenrir, that's the first time we've seen him banned, and I think that's a good one. We've seen some good use of him these last few days, and that's definitely going to have an impact on, you know, both sides, I'd like to say.
Yeah, I feel like usually we get to see teams lean into the fact that Fenrir is new, and a lot of people don't know how to really work around him at the moment because he brings something new to Siege that we aren't really used to seeing. So maybe they're not looking to needing to deal with that. You know, they want to get it out of the way. They don't want to use him, which is what teams normally lean into, but instead getting rid of him altogether and returning back to a Siege that they're comfortable with, that they're used to playing on for quite some time without a Fenrir.
Yeah, I think it just brings a lot of intel, and I was having a discussion with Chef the other day that, you know, the fact that it has those visual cues on where each Fenrir fear gadget is, it gives you that live location, and as soon as you know where it is, you can comm that to your teammate, and then they can swing, and if you play it right, you can pretty much win that gunfight every time. So it being off the board, we're going to see that classic Siege that we're used to, like you said, but look at the intel game coming out from Bandit so far. They're bringing that Valkyrie, which is available to them, but they're also bringing those traps of the Capcan. So I wonder if they're going to find any kills, you know, utilizing that. You know, maybe Kill Squad not being as safe with their droning and just sort of running right in could be deadly.
Yeah, well, it all depends on the sort of push that they look to take. Usually, traditionally, we like to see people like to take Armory first, but as you can hear, the glides as well. It looks like they might go for a CC, and I think I've seen Kill Squad do this take before. They like to focus their attention towards getting that break control first, and they utilize glides by holding that break 90 hold to make sure that nobody could potentially retake from on top of metal stairs. And already the first kill to go out, though, as Ben is able to connect a kill onto a Razor, removing Valkyrie from play. The black eye is already being distributed, though, but that is a C4 and the MPX being removed, so you're one player down this early in the round, and it's going to force JPK to be the only player upstairs. But a C4 will trade the kills back to a 4-4 as Lonely gets a nice kill to remove your glides.
Yeah, and Mackenzie likes to do a lot of damage on that, but Ben with the second onto JPK, a very prominent frag for the side of Bandits. So having both a Razor, who has, you know, huge clutch potential when, you know, on the site, having those players off the board is going to hurt you a little bit. But Faulty is going to fall, and that is your Nomad. I don't know, he's got 2 more air jabs in pocket. He does get the res, so he is on that 20 HP, but MML, he's on top metal here, looking to get aggressive, looking to find some picks of his own, and they're going to be careful of his presence. But he's going to rotate away. Doesn't want to gift his life just yet.
C4 is just being thrown out through the floors. None to really connecting, though, as we're still down to a 4v3 situation. Less swinging in the way for Bandits, though, as they need to fan out their defense and get ready for the execute. But looking like they're just getting a little bit of intel at the moment.
Oh, no.
With his last few players, Kulu being able to spot out where MML is playing behind the vending machine, and he's able to execute nicely and share that intel to Rice to be able to pick the kill up, as well as MML was unbeknownst to his position. Now 4v2 situation. Lonely looks like he's trying to go for a little bit of a retake, but these Nomads are going to make it a little bit hard, and the position's going to be given away, as well as the sound cue is one of the loudest in the game. Now down to a 40 seconds. Rice with another shot, find the double in the round, and finally Ben cleaning up that very last round. So a very strong start for Kill Squad. Border first round.
Yeah, and that was a 3k for Ben, so doing really well on the entry there, but also managing to stay alive and do some damage in that late round. And they did well to find those picks on the site. Once they found those opening picks above, they only really fell to a C4 from Lonely, I do believe. So all their gunfights, they weren't able to win. And I think, you know, sometimes we've seen Bandits take a little bit to warm up, and maybe that is the case once again. But Kill Squad, they're looking good. They're looking warmed up. They look locked in and ready to win this series, but at the very least, win this map. But we're going to go to this Armory site. Got standard site that most people know how to hold, and they're bringing this mirror. So I wonder where they're going to put these blank mirrors up, and if they're really going to do some damage here. Putting it here on this this spot here, little rat position, I think it could do some work if they open up that triple wall, if they choose to push that side. And he's probably going to put the other one just in that box in armory.
Interesting spot, though. I mean, you are putting a mirror there, and you can imagine how much pressure that's going to add for anybody trying to take those triple walls, though. But if you have a look at the lineup, KJ, they don't have anything to catch frag grenades, stun grenades, and anything that. So, especially with the hole that's in the roof there, I feel like it's going to be a little bit hard to hide that position if you're not aggressing it really, really strongly.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the fact that they have 2 sets of nades, they've got Mackenzie on the Glaz's nades, they've got Kulos on the Yana, and you see this camera coming out that they put above this little office hole. It's going to feed so much intel, especially if somebody is playing behind that mirror, so they're going to be careful of that. They're going to be aware, but they're just holding down the hatch. They think that the push is coming down from below, and the wall is open on the triple, though, so I'd imagine that Kill Squad, they're just going for a bit of an east take by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looked like that they wanted to utilize that mirror, opening up that triple wall. It adds so much pressure for anybody trying to push those east stairs, but Kulo's already made his way inside of the break bulk, though, and he's looking to push into break. MML being the first player to catch the kill there as well, being away unpunished, but the position was revealed thanks to the drone. Mackenzie is going to be able to find a refrag as well to even things back to the 4-4, but they still have full control over that CC, which Faulty is looking to get a little bit of a refrag and revenge pick, but nothing to be done yet.
Yeah, I think good frag to get that back and bring it back to that 4v4, but that's your Warden off the board. And if Glaz, you know, there is no smoke, so you don't have to worry about seeing through that, but just having a prominent gun like the MPX with a 1.5 off the board early could be detrimental. But MML, he does get spotted out here in the break, and Ben will find the frag. So good drone work and plays together there, whoever was droning for Ben, and they bring it back to this 4v3 now, and we're about 1 minute left in the round. Bandits, they got to start to hold their ground here. They can't let Kill Squad get any more control, otherwise they're just going to collapse on the site, and they have the better man count. You're just going to lose if they play it correctly, but I think that, you know, Bandits, they can definitely hold their ground.
Legion Mine doing a little bit of work to slow them down as well, but Ash is going to utilize her ability to open up the soft wall to create a pathway into the side. Now, this looks like that's exactly where Kill Squad are dedicating their attention now, as they want to go for a direct into Armory, and Rice will be the factor in that, as he is able to take out Drift and take it to a 4v2, but Mirror is below, but Mackenzie will take out the very last player, Lonely, holding into the side. Now, she does have one C4 in her hand as well to be able to stop the plant, but hopefully it'll be able to connect, and it will do onto Rice. The diffuser will be re-picked up, and they need to get it down. Ben will be the player to do so, as Mackenzie is holding the cross, utilizing that Glaz scope, and what a punch that'll pick, and it'll do it in the end.
Yeah, it's crazy how much work that he can do on that Glaz. It's not usually something that we see all too often from other teams, especially as a, you know, fragging up, but Mackenzie making good use of it and able to find 2 in that round. So I think Kill Squad, they're just playing off each other that little bit better and a little bit more than Bandits right now. They're losing those picks with no sort of answer until a little bit later, and unfortunately when it comes down to it, Kill Squad, they band together and they just go for the swings, they go for the trades, and they've just been winning those gunfights, and it's really been influencing the way that the round's been going. And right now, 2-0. Will Bandits find their answer in round 3 as they try and go back to this Armory lockers for now? Or will Kill Squad continue to dominate on this border? There's no been real back and forth that we like to see, Elijah. And coming from Bandits, they've been playing so well, but right now they look a little bit lost.
Yeah, I feel like by the looks of things, Bandits aren't too comfortable with their defense on border, which obviously they need to rectify just that little bit. It is and more of an even map, like you said a little bit earlier, in terms of attack and defense. But obviously, you don't want to switch over to your attack side with no rounds won on your half. So you need to sort of work that back, so you have a little bit of a platform to stand on when the dire need comes that you need to get some rounds for your half.
Yeah, and we see JPK. He's made his face available for us to be able to spectate. And maybe he's in now. Maybe he will sway the way for bandits in this border map now. And hopefully find their first round here. They do go back to this armory. In terms of the operator picks, it's nothing all too different. But they got to use those C4s a little bit better. They have the intel from the Valkyrie. They do have the IQ though, so they're switching off that glass, which has been working for them. So they're going to be able to spot those Valkyrie cameras. So I think you got to play off that intel early and try and find your C4 picks off of that. But they've only found one C4 play. Oh, but what a nice shot from Faulty with the pistol there onto JPK. He's not been able to do anything in any of these rounds, and wow. What a shot.
He'll regain the pistol out as well. I think he's trying to go for a next pick as well. JPK is going to give the credit where it's due and give him a nice shot, but MML is going to be able to refrag the pick back into Ben. I take it down to a 4-4, but that's your entry fragger gone as well. But Drift positioned, ready for another refrag, is going to take it into Bandit's favor as he was awaiting in a little bit of a trap down in customs. And nobody is there to pick him up as well. Looks like Faulty wants to get a little bit of a refrag, but the job is going to be set by him by denying those flanks and setting up those nomad charges, as it looks like the attention for Kill Squad is being set on triple wall and taking control of these officers.
Yeah, they they are that extra man down, but they've been able to open up that wall, so that's definitely going to help. But Organiser finding Kulo and slowly swing in Bandit's favor for once in this map, and they can just hold it out. Still halfway into the round now, so plenty of time for Kill Squad to work it back if they play their cards right, but they just got to find those picks and isolate those players that may or may not peek them. So Bandits, if they just hold, they don't need a swing here. But Organiser, he goes against my wishes, and he'll find Faulty, and MML will find Rice, and they finally find a round back and an answer to what Kill Squad's been throwing at them, and they win that Armory Archive side, and now they can choose to go elsewhere.
It's always an eat your words moment, right, KJ? Whenever you say something, the opposite will happen, and it always works out in the end, right? You're like, oh, you don't need to swing. They swing. They take the win easily as well. How does it taste?
It's a blessing and it's a curse, It's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It does. It
was a good win. Finally, welcome back, Bandits. We're going to welcome you to the scoreboard now as you've been able to catch up just that little bit. Only one round separating you now as you've done your full cycle. You need to go back to that tertiary site, which was very unsuccessful the very first time, but now you've had a few rounds to warm up, get the brain cycling. You can answer back and get yourselves to a 2-2, which is what we hope for. We want to see a closer round between these two top teams. Don't want to see too much distance, but like I said before, two maps that we're starting off with, our very first two, not the decided map, just the first two, which are Villa and Border. Both banned equally 6 times by Bandits, so I mean, it's obvious, just judging by stats, that they don't really like these two maps, but they're going to be forced to play it. So you have to do with what you can.
That's it. It's not like they haven't played this map before. It is a ranked map as well, and I'm sure that all these boys have played this map from time to time again, but it's a different story in comp. It plays a little bit differently, but for the most part, it is frag heavy, so it's not all that different. You still have to find the usual control that you gain in any other sort of game. It's just the round count and the stamina, some of the strats to hold those set areas is a little bit different. So Bandits only one round away. They're bringing it slightly back, but they got to win this next round to even up things. And Ben, he's been so good finding these opening frags, and he's able to shut down Drift. So Aruni, all her utility is down, but having that DMR in the hand is a deadly weapon, and that's a man off the board. So once again, Bandits at that disadvantage and forced to find the pick back. And this camera, Elijah, that they always have here in office, just able to feed all of that info for his team. And now JPK, if he's not careful, he'll lose once again another gunfight. And he's just been having it rough.
I like what banners are trying to do with the amount of info that is on display by Kill Squad this early on. It is just matching them, and the positions are given away. They're able to collect the kills up as well. But Organiser has an answer though in terms of intel. He'll be able to detonate a little bit of a C4 as well. The flashes going in from the roofs are going to make it a little bit harder to hold out the officers. You're going to need to rotate yourself away, but you're trapped in Fountain now as Ben is watching the cross. But a little bit of a timing there as he tries to swing. MML is going to be able to take a pick up on Mackenzie as well as he remains on top of East Stairs. But immediate refrag by Faulty is going to remove MML and take it down to a 3v3. JPK is not in a good position though as he's trying to hold down Fountain, but the double swing from Kill Squad is going to remove him nice and swiftly and leave it down to Lonely and Organiser to clutch it back in a 2v3 deficit now. Now, some of the HP has been taken off in terms of Kill Squad, but it is still doable. They are quite healthy. I mean, there are the frost mats that could potentially help you, but with the intel that has been put on display by Kill Squad at the moment, you can see the pings going out there, spotting at that frost on top, on the bottom of East Stairs, sorry. They're not going to slip up. They're not going to make these sort of mistakes, so you can't really rely on the mistakes being made. You need to get these frags and even it out just a little bit early. As you can see, the attack is being fanned out, and they're trying to get this plant down. KJ, this is where the execute happens.
Yeah, 20 seconds left on the clock. They've got one outside that teller's window holding that cross. Habana jumps down the hatch and is able to take cover behind that hard wall. And the plan's going down, but... oh my god! Lonely was able to wallbang. And now the plan is down. Organiser falls. It's all left to Lonely in a 1v1. But he does it!
He wins it!
He takes down Faulty. And what looked like another Kill Squad round. Lonely able to hold his own, and he finds 3.
A little bit of a misplay, I guess I would say as well. It's a little bit of a hard spot to plant in. You need a little bit of room to find yourself a little bit of a safe spot to plant in, and Lonely was able to capitalize on that as there were 2 spots that he could have potentially been shot from as well. There is a drone hole that faces into the tile section of that shower, so he couldn't really plant there with the time that he had left as well, and he decided to opt to plant on the soft wall instead, and Lonely being able to read into that easily gets the wall bang, secures it to a more winnable position of a 2-2, and you can see the collapse happen. Lonely holding out his own and keeping his team in the position to get back that 2-2. And now we're back on the even scoreboard of anybody's game. And this is the answer that we were looking for Bandits as well. We just talked about it, that Bandits need to wake up now, get themselves some round on their defensive half. Otherwise, when it switches over to the attack, if they're not as comfortable as Kill Squad were in the very first 2 rounds, that it's not going to look good for them at all. And they'll eat my words this time. Take it back to a 2-2.
Yeah, I think we've both been given the power of eating the words and speaking the opposite of what will occur, and I think it's just one of those sort of games where anything can happen, and Lonely being the highlight of that round, and it's good to see. You know, we've seen all the players from both these teams sort of show up when the time comes, so this is a playoffs game. It's the best of 3. There's plenty of time to shine and plenty of time to win these rounds and show what you've got. But round 5, they are on that workshop vent, so we haven't seen this site just of yet, but Hulo, he's already made his presence known on this top east, and he's just holding that office double, so anyone that is unfortunate enough to run out of there will find themselves victim. But this can, Elijah, time and time again, you know, if Bandits don't look back on this and try and check that angle a little bit more often, then I don't know. I give up. But, well, that can has proven so useful for Kill Squad's take, but the Ash Charge denying the C4, that is rough for Organiser.
I think Kill Squad are really doing well in playing into the fact that they banned out that Solus, so utilizing those drones effectively as well to make sure that they've got enough information against Bandits to use effectively, and thought out these very last few players, get themselves the info that they need to get control as fast as they can, and it looks like they're focusing on Armory first as well. Engagements going out left, right, and center, but was the one to take least of that, but C4 is going to be able to connect onto Kulo though, but not if Faulty has anything to say about it, as he will work back the pick and take it down to a 4-4. Mackenzie still remaining alive though. The RQ doing the work to get rid of those black eye cameras, which has been such a pest for them. So an info game, it looks like that they're doing a little bit of a tug of war for.
Yeah, the info game is just coming out from both teams, and I'm pretty sure that they did spot that camera in that sort of circle part of office. So I think they're starting to become aware that Kill Squad is abusing that drone angle, Elijah. So hopefully in these future rounds, they realize it a little bit more. But the time is ticking, 50 seconds on the clock, 4v4. Mackenzie is quite low, but Lonely, he just got tagged up. He'll actually go down and finished and cleaned off by Mackenzie. So we're down to that 3v4. Razor quite low, JPK a little bit peppered up. So the execute's going to be coming in, where Rice is going to jump through here, plant near the rotate. So they have the one above, but I think they just got eliminated by JPK. So first kill of the game for him, and already a impactful kill, but Faulty's going to find the pick back onto a Razor, and they're covering as the plant goes down. 2 seconds left, and plant locked in. Now it's all about the retake for Bandits.
A little bit of a missed opportunity, not being able to take out that top floor early enough. But JPK will have an answer though, as he pushes through the supply room, opens up that window, and opens up Rice as well. Now that'll leave it down to a 2v2 to try to get that retake, but the Nomads are going to make it a little bit hard as well. But you're able to shoot it out. Ben will be able to connect the kill onto MML, but Faulty is watching the cross to take out JPK, and the round will be handed to Kill Squad, as they will find themselves one up now.
A little bit rough there. They didn't choose to play together for the retake. They sort of played a little bit not off of each other, and they didn't push at the same time. And unfortunately, JPK got caught at that main door, you know, whether to choose to pick the vent guy or the main door guy. And unfortunately, they swung at the same time, and he loses the round. But Bandits, they're not doing all that badly. They're trying to keep themselves in this, but it seems like Kill Squad, they just know when to bring it back and maintain that lead. They haven't let Bandits slip into that lead in terms of the round wins, and if Bandits can find this round win here, it's not all that, you know, grim, and they can definitely come back in that attacking half. But a map like Border, we talked about it earlier, it's very, very balanced in terms of the defender and attacker split. I'd like to say it's not all that much different in terms of the win rates. I'd like to say the attackers have somewhat of an equal opportunity, and so far that seems like it's the case.
I mean, judging from the past things that we've been given, the past information, it looks like Bandits, they've woken up. It's beginning that the rounds are becoming closer and closer and closer. So I think we're looking at a 3-3 split here, KJ, in terms of switching over to our half as well. Looks like this pistol coming out with a 2x scope looks like to be the trend at the moment, and trying to get a little bit of an early pick into break as well. But nothing will come out this round. It was a little bit close though, but JPK will be having the first pick this time, which is what was usually at the beginning of the half. It was JPK getting thought out first, but this time he has a little bit of an answer in terms of adding a little bit of pressure inside of break room, as he remains in that 90 hallway, utilizing those head holes to his advantage, getting that very first pick onto Kuler as well, which hasn't been doing too well to begin us off with.
Yeah, he's been having a rough one as well, but JPK, he's woken up a little bit. Maybe he was turning that camera on, you know? And ever since then, he's been getting some frags here and there, but the nade's coming out, going to clear that 90 shield. Last nade of that side to go out, and nothing to be done of it. But JPK trying to find the head of Sledge here. It's just a little bit of a duel, but then C4 from a Razor. So good teamwork there to maintain that Sledge to stay in that position. That'll be Mackenzie off the board, and now it's all left to Rice here in top east, as his other teammates are spread out elsewhere.
This is what I was talking about. Bandits looking to get that 3-3 half instead of a 4-2. Just absolutely dismantling the attack for Kill Squad at the moment, as two members have fallen this early. That was the Ayana and the Sledge. So both players who were holding those frag grenades and potentially needing to isolate the gunfights for Bandits has been removed. So it's all left down to just flashes and breach charges now. With all the util that they've got left as well, it's looking undoable as well. Even more so as JPK finds the second as he pushes up those east stairs from the balcony as well. A little bit of a jump in though as Rice is looking to thwart it back into a 2v4 as he's able to clean up Lonely. Ben remains inside of Archives as well. Watch the cross. Could be potentially catching some off. We can see the intel being shared. MML capitalizing on that. Goes for the second. And Bandits will take their 3-3 half successfully in fashion.
Clean kills towards the end there from MML, and it's just an info game between these two teams, sorry. And it's whoever has the more intel, and they're just going to be swinging and swinging off of that intel, and whoever wins the gunfights is the victor of the round. And so far, it's even in terms of that. They've just both been doing that tug of war, and so far, they can't decide a winner. But there can only be one winner of this map and of this series, but so far, it's contested. So far, the tension is getting to them now, and the second half, you can't make as many mistakes as the first half. You let one team get in the lead a little bit too much, and they'll be that much closer to that match point, Elijah, and I think, I don't know who it's going to be.
I mean, you're in a 3-3 half now. We've done our rotate. Now, the Mentos has been added to the soda as the pressure is going to pick up. So both of these teams, if there's any time to step it up, it is now. We get to see how Kill Squad can prevail against Bandits. As now we've switched over, we get to see which team is really dominant in terms of attack and defense. Now, I'm liking the setup that Kill Squad are putting before us. Hopefully, we get to see the same sort of attention towards information that Kill Squad had shared in their attack. But it looks like both the info games are going to be coming out now as RQ is being brought out, as well as Thatcher to shut down potentially some information. But the Yokai drones are being brought out by Faulty as well, which is we talked about earlier, in sort of teams running that denial over and over again. Now, MML looks like to be their entry fragger this round, as he's already made his way into Passport, and it looks like he's dedicating himself to getting control up those east stairs. And if he does so, the very first person he will be able to run into will be Killer. Getting the kill as well this early on. Just to go for the second. Narrowly gets it through the wall. What, KJ? No!
What? MML has woken up and he is here to shine, and what a opening of this half for him and this team, and taking that Wamai and Malusi off the board is going to be huge. Obviously, Malusi's, utility is all down and all ready to use, but Wamai, those discs not going to be able to utilize all of them as they recharge the longer you stay alive. But Drift to find Mackenzie, and this is a lot more dominant from Bandits going onto this attack.
They're looking very, very strong to start us off with. Only 2 members left on the side as well. Luckily, the Wamai disc were placed down at the right time as well, but you're getting forward out in terms of health. You try to retreat yourself back to the Fountain Rice, but you'll immediately get picked up and leave it all for Faulty to push back. Now, he does have a shotgun and an SMG and the potential to stop the defuse if it so happens down, but with 5 people left, it's almost undoable. The frag grenades getting tossed through. Eraser be able to get that final kill in a very strong performance and their very first switch up as Bandits get a flawless round for themselves.
That was very, very clean from them. That entry from MML, if he died though on that hatch player that he was trying to kill, it would have been, I'd like to say, a little bit of a different round. But the fact that he found 2 and didn't sort of get picked off, that was huge for the side of Bandits and definitely helped in winning that round. So good entries there, and I don't know what sort of intel he had or if it was just more of a, balls to the wall sort of play. But it worked out.
It was intel, right? Because he went through the passport, right? I don't think he knew about Kulo's position. That could have been completely game sense because he was the locker downstairs. The fact that he pushed into bathroom and was already pre-aiming that hatch, you can imagine that Bandits were utilizing that drone that is on top of the skylight that we got to see Kill Squad utilize in their attack. Now, if they had that drone position set up or if they had any other position set up, then they would have had visual confirmation that there was a player on that hatch. And judging by how MML played that, pre-aiming the hatch, walking into bathroom of all places as well, that's just the team enabling him to get those sort of strong entries that have already collected themselves a very, very strong flawless round in their very first round of half.
Well, the tension is brewing now as we're in this second half, and Bandits, for the first time in this map, they have the lead. It is only a one-round lead, but a lead nonetheless, and like we mentioned, that little bit closer to that match point. So Kill Squad, they got to find the answer back. Now that Bandits, they're adapting the way that Kill Squad have been playing. They're starting to counter everything that they've been doing. So now it's Kill Squad's turn to brew something in the mix and shut it down.
An engagement will happen downstairs, though, as Kulo was getting into a little bit of a gunfight with MML, I believe it was, but no kills to go out. Kulo will take a huge chunk of HP, but he's got the support there, as making sure that he can't jump inside of Tellers, as it was Ben holding out that hatch. Now, it looks like they're setting up to deal with him, though, as he is the only person who is holding these officers as well. They're going to try to open up these triple walls, and again, that single window, and they could do a little bit of a double swing as well, but you have to be a little bit careful, because there is Mackenzie. He is on the 90 hallways as well, and he's ready to add a little bit of support on potentially one of these players, or it could be MML, trying to sort out the player who's holding officers aggressively. Now, they're trying to get that intel first, and it won't work out in their favor, as the impacts will go out, unable to confirm MML, but a second will be able to connect and get their very first pick in the round, and the Zofia charges will go out. Try to see if they can get a little bit of a refrag, but it will open a pathway for them to get Mackenzie, again, behind the Kiba barriers inside of the 90 hallway. It's a safe spot for him to sit.
It is, and you're able to utilize that Kiba barrier to hold that hallway entirely, and no one sort of wants to push down it. And when you're sort of running out of this time, Organiser, he's actually in this office window, and I don't think the Wamai is aware, and Organiser will find one, JPK to find another, and all of a sudden, Bandits have flipped this round on its head. Mackenzie forced to make a little play here from the break, but Drift, he's got him locked down, and he will eliminate him from the board. Kulo, he finds a returning frag back onto Drift, and now we're down to a 2v3 for the side of Kill Squad. 40 seconds, the smoke canisters will go out, but JPK on the attacking half doing absolute work, and he's able to shut him down, but Kulo low HP, JPK to finish him off.
They did good with an explosion to sort of bring it back, but in the end, Bandits, they prevail. They find the momentum that they need and pull together when it was at dire, at the hardest situation, where we think that it's going to flip one way. The immediate opposite will happen. The cast curse has begun, and worked themselves right up. Bandits, ever so strong on their attack, looking like they are more comfortable. But if we're going up by narrative and things that we've seen in the past, I do remember the very first 2 rounds were given up to the attack side of Kill Squad. Took a little bit of time for the defense to wake up and have a little bit of an answer back, but with how strong these rounds have been by Bandits, I think Bandits are the attacker squad.
Yeah, they just look 10 times more confident on the attack, which isn't sort of something you'd normally hear, but on a map like Border, that's not all that, unusual. And I think, with a map like this, it just opens up a lot of opportunity to find those backstabs, which we saw, Bandits do, and they really locked down those players, isolated them. And that's the thing about Border, is that the positions that you want to extend to and hold, most of the time, if the attacking side plays it right, you will be sort of stuck there and forced to make those plays and hopefully hit your shots. And with the way that Bandits are playing, very difficult to achieve. So luckily for them, they're 2 rounds in the lead now and 1 round away from that match point. So Kill Squad, they gotta find a round here if they want to stop that from happening and try and win this game in regular time. Otherwise, Bandits, they've locked in that, at least that overtime. And I'd imagine that Kill Squad want to stop that right here and there. But when you've got JPK popping off so much on the attack, that's hard to do. And Kulo, he's having a bit of a rough one, Elijah. So definitely could be in the mentals right now. But he does have those cams to help his team. So it's not all over in a game like Siege. You're still able to help your team even when you're not alive.
Ooh. Second engagement to come out, though. Mackenzie being droned out of his little safety room inside of security. he'll be able to lose a little bit of HP as well, and thanks to that, his position has been given off as well, and he's had to rotate back down, try to retake on top of metal stairs, but there's already a player inside of Armory who is adding so much pressure that he can't retake. They will try to get the pick up, but MML will be the first to connect. Take it down to a 3v5 now. Kill Squad not looking strong. Bandits looking to secure a 6-3. But Rice needs to be the first person to sort of bring it back. His full map control upstairs, at least, has been forfeited to Bandits, and that's not the position that you want to be in terms of losing out that vertical. The C4s have already been distributed as well as Ben. He hasn't got one in his hand as well. I believe Mute has already either pre-placed it or used it, but thinking of being used though, JPK utilizing the 1.5 to add another kill in the round and take it down to only Ben and Rice to bring it back. And a minute left to do so. It's looking like it's undoable.
It is, and you know, once again on this defense, Kill Squad not able to find a single round, and they're really struggling on how, you know, they want to hold it. So they had similar issues as Bandits, but Bandits, they came back in the third round of their defense. This is the third round for Kill Squad, but JPK, he's going off right now. Triple for him in the round, but Rice, he finds an answer back. He shuts down Organiser, but there's a lot of work to do. You have to find another 4. You have to ace to win the round. He's got that full HP, he definitely can do so, but it's a lot to ask. He finds the second onto MML, pad the stats nonetheless, but 32 seconds on retake. Is it enough time, or is Bandits just going to play their crosses, play their positions right, and really run down the clock?
Well, he's just utilizing a little bit of that shotgun capability, open up the floors a little bit, see if you can maybe get some exit frags, but there's no time left, Rice. I mean, you're doing what you can. You try to get that very last pick, but JPK is too hungry for it, and he will secure himself that 6-3 lead at the moment for Bandits, waking up on their attack side. So Bandits proving to be the stronger side of the team in terms of attack, at least for this match as well, and they secure themselves that match point, which not looking too good at the moment for Kill Squad.
Yeah, things just aren't working out for them. They're just not clicking like they were on the defense. It's not that even sort of rounds between these two teams. All of a sudden it's flipped, and we see that quite a lot when the second half comes around. And unlucky for Kill Squad, they're on the, you know, worst end of the stick. But now you have to win 3 back-to-back rounds, otherwise you lose this map and, you know, put yourself at that disadvantage of this series, as we'll go to Villa on the next map. So Kill Squad, they want to sort of lock this out and really hold it on the defense, otherwise it's not going to be looking good for them.
Interestingly enough as well, Bandits being really capable and strong on their attack on the second half of this map. The next map, they start out on attack, KJ.
They do. So that'll be an interesting one.
It is a different map though, so, you know, obviously Bandits can be a little bit more uncomfortable when they switch over to the next one, but judging from their performance on their attack, the way that they utilize their information, util, you know, all sort of things like that to catch out the roamers and the positions of Kill Squad that they've been displaying, Bandits look like to be the more comfortable team on the attack side, but hopefully Kill Squad have an answer this round. I mean, because we've seen miracles happen before, right? It's a Siege, anything can happen. MML is always this aggressive though in terms of getting as much map control as he can, and he's already face checking the head holes into Armory. Now Ben, he's holding the small room though, so you can't push through without running into him, and Vigil, that's a gun that packs a punch as well. Faulty to find the first pick. Ben as well to match the energy, and he'll be able to get their very first 2 picks in the round as well. MML, which has been such a staple in terms of those entry frags for Kill Squad at the moment, being removed this early on. Now the Thatcher was removed in the process as well, so not off to a good start as well, and doubly so as Ben collecting the second kill in the round onto JPK, and this is the answer for Kill Squad.
This is what they need. This is the momentum and the round that could change everything within this game. Now Razor, he's spotting out all of this utility with his IQ scanner, but maybe he's also trying to hunt down that Vigil that has been such a menace within this round. But Lonely, he's just on this armory rappel, trying to help his teammate from above and maybe open up some of these hatches. But there is actually one in CC. He's got to be careful about taking that engagement. If he loses it, it'll all be left to Eraser. and the potential for Kill Squad to win a flawless round. Now, that definitely could get the hopes back up for them and maybe result in some more round wins going into the rest of this game. But right now, we're almost approaching that last minute of the round, and they're just trying to find some vert, trying to find some of those players to catch off guard and really isolate and find those picks. But right now, no one's willing to push or shove. They're just laying back, waiting.
A very good decision as well, I gotta say. Needing to wait to the last two people to push into you instead, reset your defense and just wait for the mistakes to be made. As I mean, they do have a little bit of a util to use in terms of the Habana pellets and the IQ scanner. You can thwart out those last few people, especially the Vigil as well. You look for those cap cans. Lonely, you'll be able to get that very first pick as well, but immediately traded back by Mackenzie as he's able to find the likes of Organiser lurking upstairs, and Lonely's not aware of the balcony player just above him. Hopefully he'll be able to get it spotted out, but no, Mackenzie will be able to hit the shot first.
Yeah, Bandits not able to have any sort of impact on that map at all, and almost a flawless round from Kill Squad. And that's their first round on the defense. They've finally found their round needed to kick things off now. When Bandits found their defense round, they were able to win a few more, but it was more of a back and forth after that. So hopefully for Bandits, they don't allow Kill Squad to come back at all, as they would have to find another 2 rounds. But it's definitely doable. It's not, you know, out of the equation. It's not something that can sort of happen. And the interesting thing, Elijah, is that neither team has taken a timeout yet. So I wonder if Kill Squad win this round if either of the teams decide to take that timeout, maybe take a breather before they potentially go into that last round. But something to think about.
I think for both of these teams, they don't like to utilize those timeouts too often. I know especially for Bandits, they like to avoid those timeouts when it's due. They like to stay warm, you know. They don't want to waste those few seconds. But obviously, talking to your coach, talking to your team, resetting that mental as well, it takes a huge factor in how well you can play out, especially these next few halves, and especially when you're down this much on a 4-3, 4-6, sorry, match point. You need to think about things a little bit more, and what you can do differently to get yourself some more round wins. And by the looks of it, Kill Squad, they have a little bit of an answer as well. Looks like try to get a little bit of an early engagement, I think. Maybe it was a little bit of a team damage. Ben taking it early on.
Yeah, I don't quite know where those shots came from, but he will be left to that 60 HP. I think it was from a rotate, so that is not a sort of position you want to be in. But once again, Michael loving to push through this pass, but they're going to be careful that he doesn't find any frags here. And I think Faulty, he is aware of it. And that, once again, is an opening pick for Kill Squad and a good frag to get. That's your Yana. That's your only nades on this side, you know, available to Bandits. So no lethal utility going to be coming out from them.
It's them reading into how MML was playing as well, because it's the second, if not the third time he's done that in this matchup. So them being able to read in and adapt exactly how their entry fragger was playing and shut him down early has put them in a really good position for this potential last round if Bandits can't forward it back. But Kill Squad looking to get themselves an ever closer and maybe get a little bit of a comeback going. JPK is going to be holding these east stairs, getting live drone to see if he can open up a little bit of a pathway, but they're holding the same sort of section that they did last time, utilizing that 90 hallway position and that officers as well. And the vertical controls coming out as Drift losing a huge amount of HP in the process. He needs to stay alive as well, because he is the only person who's got those EMPs in his pockets. Obviously, you can utilize those the Zofia from below if you decide to change up how you're pushing, but if you want to utilize it effectively, you know, this thatch is going to need to come into play, and there's already going to be chucked out. One EMP to be wasted. An immediate rotate from Mackenzie is going to be caught out, though, as JPK hits the nice shot.
He is able to find the picks back, but Faulty's able to find it onto Drift. That's your Thatcher, and Kulo will swing and find JPK. That's the second in the round for him, an impactful frag as well. So it's all falling apart for Bandits. Lonely, he's able to find the pick back onto Faulty, and now they're down to a 3v2. Make that a 2v2 for now, as Kulo will be downed from the shots of Organiser. But they're low on time, Elijah. They're going to have to start to push in and try and find these picks. Are they aware of the player in Fountain? I think Organiser knows, but he has to go for the swing. And if they play their crosses right, they can at least find the refrag. Now, he's going to be swinging now. 20 seconds, but Rice, he has the shotgun. He has the better tool for that gunfight. And Ben will clean up Lonely. And once again, Elijah, it's that back and forth action. And Kill Squad, they're finding their way back into this game and back into this series. Can they go all the way and get it into that overtime?
They definitely want it. We've still remaining on this match point. Kill Squad just edging on Bandits in terms of taking this win, just not letting them get out of this map. Kill Squad, they want to be the very first team to collect that 1-0 instead of it being handed to Bandits, which is, you know, what you can expect, but it's getting dicey.
It is getting dicey. It's getting a little bit worrisome for Bandits. They were looking so good on the attack. And then, you know, they won their 3, and now Kill Squad, they've won their 2, and they have the potential to win this 3rd, but they still have that 1 round to go. They still have to make that distance. Otherwise, they'll fall short and Bandits will secure the win. But why come all this way if you're just going to be losing this round? Why not go the full distance and take us into that overtime? Bandits, they don't know what a win, you know, a round win has been like for the last 2 rounds. So they could be feeling the pressure a little bit as the tension has been brewing up these last couple rounds. And maybe the communications are getting a little bit, you know, light. Or a little bit loud.
Well, hopefully, the very first early engagements don't come out, because I believe MML has been the very first pick these last few times, but this time he will switch the narrative, and he'll be able to get the very first pick onto Mackenzie as well, and that was your Vigil being removed, so it's going to make it a lot easier, as he was trying to get a little bit of a spawn peek from Break out into Ventilation now. Good early pick to have. You'll be able to not worry about him cloaking and avoiding them drones, and playing safer behind positions there. You can't exactly see where he is, but obviously you can see the radius thanks to the lines that become upon your screen when the Vigil is nearby and using his ult.
Oh, but Faulty, he's going to utilize that MPX and he's going to shut down MML, so a response a little bit late, but there nonetheless, and that's your nades once again off the board, Elijah, so no more lethal utility for Bandits to have access to. They do have the Thatcher, they do have the Ace, they can open up these walls and utilize that control, but they're getting short for time if they don't start to take this vert. You know, they still have to clear out Faulty, they still have to get around these mute jammers, but for the most part, Faulty, he's going to shoot 1 drone and he's going to rotate off, but does try and take a risky engagement with that Fountain player, but he is able to run away that little bit easier, and Ray's going to utilize this IQ scanner, try and search for these Valkyrie cameras, but nothing to come of it just yet.
Yeah, interesting that there is nothing up there as well, because I believe I didn't get to see Rice use his C4, so I think he's put it down to pre-place and maybe use it off of a black eye camera, so IQ is going to have to be the person to deal with that, but they still have 1 C4 in the pocket of Faulty as well that can potentially be used for retaking, and there it goes through the floor, there goes Rice, a little bit of Deja, I got to read into future just there. Rice taking out Organiser, so now you're in a little bit of a detrimental. Drift, Lonely, JPK, the last few members left as well, 50 seconds.
Well, Mr. Fortune Teller, Elijah, what do you think is going to transpire in these last 40 seconds of the round? Will it be Kill Squad to prevail and take us into that overtime and be on that even score once again, or will it be Bandits prevailing in this 2v4 situation as Faulty finds Drift? So JPK, he does have 1 line scan left, but it's going to have to be guns up and frags out if they want to stay in this game and not let it go to that overtime. Now the flashes will go out, but he's unaware of Rice in the corner with the shotgun once again. It's all left to Lonely in a 1v4. Bandits not able to find anything within this round and in the last previous 2 rounds. And Kill Squad, they're making this game a little bit closer. Lonely with some exit frags, he finds 2. but he has to find all 4, and unfortunately they're playing it safe. And they take us into that overtime, Elijah. Wow.
Kill Squad, they've got to be happy with the results that are just being unveiled before them. Although Bandits hitting that match point, it looks like Kill Squad, they do really well under pressure, and when the dire time comes, they can perform, and they take themselves back to a 6-6. So while it was a 3-3 half, the second half is finished. We're going to move over to the overtime now, and it's a 6-6. So again, both of these teams being evenly matched. They are the top teams, the first and the second, that they finished off in the regular season. It's going to carry on as their matchup of a rivals match again, being the theme of these playoffs. As we push these overtimes, KJ, I can't even guess who's going to take border first.
Yeah, nah, like what looked like a dominant performance from Bandits on the attack, securing that match point, and it was a 6-3 scoreline, and then it just completely flipped, and now we're in this overtime. So now this is looking more like that winner bracket semi-finals game that we asked for, Elijah, and it's looking like a close one. We talked about it earlier. Will Border be a close one, or will it be a dominant performance? And it's definitely provided us with that close game. And you know, we did vote that Bandits would win this series, but I don't know about this map in particular. Like, it looks like both teams are playing so well, and unfortunately for Bandits, they have to stay on that attack, whereas Kill Squad, they get to stay on that defense and play off that momentum of that 3-round wins in a row. So is it going to be getting to Bandits now?
It's anybody's guess at the moment. And luckily, Bandits, they still get to stay on that attack, which is what they were strong at. But at the moment, with the momentum that KS has built for themselves, they're getting on a little bit of a train in terms of just winning their defenses over and over and over again. And that means that Bandits, they need to try something a little bit different. And it might be Organiser here to be the first person to sort that out. He is utilizing IQ effectively to take out these black eye cameras. And it looks like he might want to go for a little bit of a sneaky take inside of Archives first to try to catch them off guard as well. But Drift, to be able to get the very first kill onto Faulty, remove him from play, and that was your Valkyrie. So the C4 will be removed. The black eye cameras have already been placed up, as you got to see, already being removed thanks to the IQ scanner that Organiser can bring. Now you're looking to get control over Archives and Armory as well. But Drift finding another kill in this round on fire, off to a really good start. Thatcher still being remained up as well. We'll take it down to a 3v5 situation for Kill Squad to bring it back. Now this is the Bandits answer that we're looking for. Looks like they are trying a little bit of an untraditional take that what we've seen over and over and over again, and that's making it hard for Kill Squad to read into.
Yeah, I think, you know, their confidence sort of clouded their vision there, and now they got a little bit over-aggressive and are losing these picks and losing these gunfights as JPK finds Ben. Now they're in a 5v2 situation. Bandits, they have half the round already to work with and start to drone out these positions. These last two players, Rice, trying to chuck a C4 through the hatch, but he will take the damage in the process. That's about 70 HP that he's left on. Kulo left all alone in the site. I think it's a little bit much to ask for these guys to clutch it out, but they'll definitely try their best to attempt it. They're getting the pings. They know the intel of this player East, and Rice, he's just holding the jump in, waiting. He finds the head of MML, but the plant's already going down. At the mere best, it was a distraction. And I think Lonely, he's going to finish that plant, but Kulo with a nice shot outside the window. Now Lonely is trapped there, and I think Kulo is aware. He sees the tip of the barrel, but they do have the other two players on the vert. The other one's down the bottom east, sorry. They have the intel, Elijah. Can they bring it back?
It's a doable clutch as well, but not if Rice loses his gunfight as well. A little bit of a pepper damage be done. The shotgun doing all the work he can to take out JPK. Now we're down to a 2v2 with one of the players isolated as well, but a nice swing from the vents will equal a trade to a triple kill. Shotgun is out, but the vertical upside down rappel of Organiser will be enough to finish off. And now we welcome back Bandits to the kill feed and the scoreboard, as they will be able to collect themselves around for the first time in a little while. Bandits looking like they want the win just that much more.
That was interesting. What hat looked like Bandits completely dominating. I'm pretty sure that was a 5v2, Elijah, and that turned into a 1v1. Bandits, although they were struggling with the attack, they find that round win, but they got to be careful. If they lose this round, they'll be back on that attack, and they're faced with that same situation. Kill Squad have that opportunity to know that they're bad with their post-plant positioning and post-plant holds, so they're going to be wary of that. But they do have that round advantage now, and they are on that match point once again. But they've been in this situation before, and I'm pretty sure for Kill Squad, they're not going to be all that worried. They were able to win 3 rounds in a row when Bandits were on that match point before. Kill Squad can definitely keep themselves in this, but this time they're on the attack. They've got to be careful on how they approach this. They haven't attacked for a very, very long time now, and Bandits, they have that advantage. They're going to be very, very confident with the way that they're going to be playing on this defense, and they got this bathroom tellers, which is a little bit harder for an attacking side. You've got to take this top floor to get that vert and then progress onto the side. Otherwise, for the most part, anyone that plays this top floor correctly, and if the attacking team doesn't push you, you should be able to play the vert and punish them all the much for it.
Well, interestingly enough, though, Kill Squad, now that they've switched over to the attack side, they've gotten majority of their wins that kept us in this side on their defense. You know, they did really well on the defense, so you can imagine that after winning so many defensive rounds, you might be in that defensive mindset. You're used to beating Bandits while you're defending. Now you've switched over to the attack side. It could also rain heavy for Bandits. You know, they are used to attacking. They've won majority of their rounds on attack, so it's a little bit of an even match in terms of who is more comfortable now. As we've switched up, both the teams have to play a side which are a little bit more uncomfortable for them. Bandits usually being successful on their attack, Kill Squad being successful on their defense. Now who can do better now that we've switched sides?
Well, Rise, he's going to open up the round and shut down JPK, the top fragger for Bandits. So that's somebody that you want to be eliminating early if you are Kill Squad. Now, it's a minute into the round, and that's pretty good position for them to be in, as well as they've got plenty of time to work with. They can start to open up these hatches and be pressuring the people on the side. But MML, he will fall as well. Potential C4 off the board for him, but his black eyes are in play. But they do have the IQ to spot those out. Now, there is a C4 still in the pocket of Organiser, but he's on this top floor. He is still trying to take the gunfights to the side of Kill Squad, but there's already 3 in this armory. If he chooses to fight it, he could fall victim to their guns, but he'll fall off. He doesn't want to contest that at all.
He's got a C4 in his hands though, so he might be able to use it effectively enough to get a kill through the floorboards, but as you can see, majority of them are sitting comfortably on the concrete. They have rotated off though. C4 being prepped. Hasn't been blown up just yet. They're going to have to wait for a little bit more intel, maybe a sound cue to give it away to see if they can get themselves a pick. But again, looks like Kill Squad are sticking with what's comfortable and working that bathroom hatch first. Try to get control into the site, plant under that bathroom hatch, have someone watching it from above, and then again onto that single window as well. And Drift is going to be catched off guard in that process as well, as 2 kills go out for the side of Kill Squad. And it's nothing compared to what we've seen in the past from Bandits. And they're just running through every single member.
Well, Elijah, on overtime, somehow, it's the attacking side that's been winning, not the defensive side. Now, Kill Squad, they get to go back into that defense, which they won quite, convincingly in the second part of that second half. So, for Bandits, it's looking a bit interesting, and I don't know why this game is so close. It should not be this close. I thought it was going to be a close game, but nothing like this into the overtime where we go the full distance into the 15th round here. And it's still anybody's game. I can't decide. Bandits, they could have a good attack once again. But Kill Squad, they could do the right swings on this defense and find those early picks and close out the round.
I expected an overtime, but an overtime match point, I didn't know if I was ready for that, but already both of these teams off to a very, very strong start to set the pace for a BO3. Hopefully taking us to that deciding map was what I'm looking forward to the most, as it looks like that could be the factor that we're gonna get, KJ, because 7-7 first map. Like, obviously you don't want both of these teams to burn each other out, but with the 2 top teams from the regulation season, you could imagine that they have the capability to pace themselves out. Now, you can have the argument that these teams might be a BO1 Warriors, because now we've switched over to BO3, and it is a really good testament to the pace and the stamina that these teams have. So, they might need to slow down in terms of burning themselves out these first couple of rounds, because if we do hit that third map, we've seen teams burn out in the past. We don't want to see that again.
We have, you know, there's only so much fuel in the tank, and when it's so intense, like this matchup specifically, and when it's so frag heavy and it's just back and forth, it can definitely get to the mentals and the stamina of a team and individual players. So hopefully both teams can close it out here and carry on that momentum to hang on to go into that second map. Now, the next map is Villa, so we're probably going to see that same back and forth action in terms of the frag heavy side. But right now, Ben, he's in a bit of an engagement here. Top East, there is 2 players ready to refrag each other, but Ben, he is holding out. A minute into the round already, and they're only just starting to push this top floor, Elijah, so maybe a little bit of a slow start from Bandits, but will it pay off for them?
Ooh, the kill will narrowly miss it, but Mackenzie will be able to connect it in the end, though, and get that very first pick for Kill Squad and leave it down to a 5v4 now. They're going to need to work that kill back if they're going to play these refrags, which is what we've seen traditionally these teams do, is that you need to have that man advantage or an even man advantage if you're going to play those refrags. Otherwise, it won't work out in your favor. Now, doing really well in terms of bleeding out time for Bandits, as they haven't really got too much control, at least over break on 90 hallways. Now the Thatcher is going to make it a little bit harder to hold this position, if you've got some of those frag grenades to use, but you've only got one in a pocket for MML and look like you're in a really good position. So, but the second member for Bandits will fall, and Kill Squad looking ever so strong on this overtime match point as they are in a 5v3. 59 seconds left the clock. They will go below, and we've seen MML utilize these frag grenades so effectively before, and Mackenzie will manage to get away, just scraping by with no health left as he's down to about 5 HP. Faulty, he'll be able to collect a kill up for himself. Now Organiser is going to be able to get the trade as he gets 2 kills, and there's only 2v3 left. Mackenzie is low HP, 35 seconds.
This is one way to end this round and end this map. But Organiser, he's on about 80 HP. And the time is ticking. 24 seconds on the clock. They've got to start finding these picks. They're going to start making their way onto the side, Elijah. The pings are going to be coming out. The swings are going to be swung. And it's all going to be chaos very, very shortly. The 10 seconds left. Kulo going to swing. He's going to shut down MML. Organiser to find him. But Mackenzie with the trade. Kill Squad, they find map 1. What a performance from both these teams right now, Elijah, and wow. Kill Squad, they find the advantage. They find map 1. We're going to Villa, and Bandits are forced to win this if they want to go to the third map.
Well, usually it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a narrative change, because from the past we usually see the 2 rival teams win each other's respective maps, but they were the pickers for Border, and they will be able to win that one, and now they're going to have to head over to Bandits, which they are the pickers for Villa, which you're going to want to hope that Bandits can take that win on their respective map. Otherwise it'll be a 2-0, and Kill Squad, they're looking quite strong at the moment. You got to be happy with having that very first win, because there was a comeback after all, because the Bandits, they were on match point for quite some time. Kill Squad finally finding out their momentum, and they collect themselves a nice win. Border being handed to them first.
Yeah, and, you know, both teams, we can't fault them. They did, you know, even, both on the attack and the defense. And even when it looked grim for Kill Squad, they were down 3-6. And I think we've seen this before, Elijah, where Kill Squad, they've been at a disadvantage, and then they've been able to bring it all the way back, go into overtime, and then win in overtime as well. So, you know, Kill Squad, they do really well under the pressure, like you mentioned earlier. They're able to close out that first map. Now, Villa will be the second. Kill Squad will be on that defense. Bandits will be on that attack. And even though we were crediting Bandits how well their attack was in the first part of that second half, it completely flipped after that. And being on the attack to kick them off, I don't know if it will be good for them on Villa. I think, you know, Border, it isn't as bad. But with Villa, it's a little bit hard to entry the, you know, the map and in towards the site. So I think it's going to be a rough one. But any last words before we get to that break, Elijah?
No, that'll be all it for us. Congratulations to Kill Squad for taking the first map, and hopefully Bandits will have an answer in the next one. But if you're excited to see Bandits come back, or will Kill Squad be able to shut it down and collect themselves a 2-0, definitely come back in 5 minutes, because we'll be heading off just for a 5-minute break. But until then, we'll have to see you guys soon.
Welcome back, everybody, and we're on to the map 2 of this best of 3 series between Bandits and Kill Squad. Kill Squad winning that last map of Border very, very closely in that 8-7 scoreline. So we went all the way the full distance on that Border map. Now we move to Villa, where things are not all the same, but a little bit similar in terms of the way that Villa plays. And, it's going to be a good one. But I am KJ Assassin.
And I'm Elijah Hartz, and an exciting very first map that we had now that we're moving over to Villa. I gotta say, just looking at our 3 maps that we have before us today, obviously, like you said, the first 2 maps playing relatively the same, in terms of the play styles and the fragging potential, but Skyscraper is quite different. So hopefully these teams can take us to that very third map and we can see how well they can diversify their play styles when we hit that eventual decider, but it's all dependent on the result of this one, because Kill Squad finding themselves 1-0 at the moment. They're looking to close it out and get themselves a 2-0 on Villa, but we saw a very strong attack from Bandits, and they're starting out on attack this time, and hopefully they're comfortable on their map, because last map it was Kill Squad's pick. This time Bandits, they'll be able to play on the map that they wanted. But like I said earlier, I mean, Bandits, they have banned 2 maps 6 times in a row, the second most banned in their side, and that is Villa and Border, both the maps that we're playing today. So you gotta want to hope that they're ready to pull it out here.
Yeah, if you are Bandits, you're on the back foot now, and the team that was so, dominant throughout the regular season and very, very strong, they're forced to win this next map. Otherwise, they will lose this winner bracket semi-final, and then they will go down to take on Naughty Sausages in that lower bracket. So they still have the chance if they lose this series, but they don't want to do that. They want to secure that grand final spot. They want to go, and be secured and locked in and ready to go to win that prize pool and win this first season of Nova. But do they have what the power within them, or will they falter and lose to Kill Squad? Because Kill Squad, even under the pressure, they're able to really lock it down and find their rounds when things look dire. So I think going into this next map, Bandits, they just got to throw it all out there.
Absolutely, and I guess it all really depends on, as well as the bans that these guys have picked as well for Villa. So there are a multitude of things that we can expect from that. But I say I'm ready, you're ready, I guess the chat's ready as well, and hopefully the teams are ready to put on a really strong display for us, as I guess we'll move into a map. Villa, Kill Squad, Bandits pulling out together.
Yeah, and something to be interested in with this map as well is that the bans that we've been seeing recently have been a little bit interesting as well. But I think we're going to see more of the same sort of bans that we saw on that Border. We're probably going to see that Solus, because Bandits, like I said, if they don't ban it, they love to utilize and abuse the power of Solus. So I think that's going to be off the board again, and probably a Mirror or a Valkyrie. Valkyrie being so prominent in that Border map, though, so I think Mirror will probably be the one of choice, or a Zami. But for the attack, Elijah, what are we thinking?
Absolutely, like, you can't miss out on the Flores. The Rentero drones, absolutely a strong aspect. And look, always the very first Bandit is the more common person to ban on Villa. Yeah, the potential that he brings, and not only getting rid of the util, you can open up the soft walls as well. Get rid of those Goyo packs early on that you need up to slow them down when it comes to their initial execute. But the keeper barriers, things like that as well. And that's all really option on whether they want to keep that up on the defensive half as well. But second attacker ban to roll out, though, and that will be that Nook, which we can tell that both of these teams don't really like to live up.
They do not, and I think it's just that lurk potential. A lot of these teams love to lurk and really backstab the enemy team, and we saw before MML really good at doing that, but it's not locked to just that knock. You can do it on any operator that sort of allows you to, but Solus being that same ban once again, so pretty similar bans to Border, like we mentioned, and I think the exact same bans for Kill Squad on this map, but Bandits, sorry, not Kill Squad, for Bandits, same sort of bans, but the last one, what's it going to be? It's going to be that Azami. Yeah. So a little bit harder to hold that master and really lock down the other side of the map, Elijah. And I think those are some good bans going forward into this map.
Yeah, definitely getting rid of the stronger. I gotta say, out of all the operators that I can really like think of like off the top of my mind, the two operators out of that band that really influence the way that the attack and the defense is obviously that the Flores and the Azami, because we've seen how well and how strong and how much of a threatening factor those two operators being left up are. The Montero drones, the one ways that you can have with the Azamis as well, which just completely switch up the defense. So they still have the Goyo up though. It doesn't look like they're running any denial other than the smoke. So it looks like they're really focusing on stopping the time, choking it out. And we like to talk about, I believe it was yesterday, and how much you need to rely on your extension in this map specifically. In order to burn out times, you need to be able to hold the other side and for as long as you can without dropping too much though, because the last thing you want is to lose a member here and be stuck in a little bit of a kill box.
Yeah, it's a bit of a two-sided coin. You know, if you don't lose any picks, but you have to fall off early, then you've left the enemy team on the attack a lot of time and a lot of space to work with. Whereas if you stay there a little bit too long, you could risk losing a pick or two, and you don't really want to be on that end of the stick either. So it's really how you play it, and hopefully you play it well enough to benefit extending onto that side. But someone that's in the game now, an operator, Fenrir, which is just so strong, especially on a map like this. We've seen it being utilized time and time again, and now that it's available on Villa, can hurt the side of Bandits trying to get their entries, as well as the late entries, dependent on where those fear gadgets are placed.
It's like going for a little bit of an entry. Razor being the aggressor, always trying to get control as early as he can and utilize these frag grenades from below, and they've got two sets of that as well, KJ, so trying to get that intel. You can see the drones coming out as well through the vault drone hole as well, and that was spotted out thanks to Vice sitting on the default. Be able to deny that intel that it provides to potentially keep some of your players safe from getting frag grenaded below. Now, getting aggressive. Faulty trying to get a little bit of an early pick onto the global utility that Drift brings, but do it unsuccessfully. The huge mag in the LMG will be able to tear through the skull of your smoke player, and you're down to a 4v5 deficit now. Now, Rice needs to try to work this pick back now as he remains on this book's position above the study stairs. Drones will be going in as well. The sound cue of the barbed wire getting hit is going to reveal the position, but Rice, reading into the danger, is able to rotate away without being punished.
And we see Fenrir activating those fear gadgets for that backstab potential just in case. But Drift on a double this round, and one way to open up the map and shutting down the Fenrir as well. So not able to move around those gadgets any longer. But Rice going to pop that Goyo pack and shut down anyone pushing through books. But Ben with the return and able to find MML. So that's one set of nades off the board. That's Yoyana. But there's still one nade in the pocket of a Razor on that sledge. And Rice, he's going to find JPK. And we're back down to that 3v3. So Bandits slowly losing their lead in terms of the man count. But Razor utilizing that last nade and able to shut down Hulo. EMPs to go out. Drift's going to push in, take a large chunk of HP though. And it's just all stalling for time now as there's 30 seconds on the clock. It's going to come down to this collapse, Elijah.
The Goyos have been popped as well in their book's position, so that's just free reign for them for trying to get that control. And you can see two members dedicating themselves as well and utilizing the soft destruction that Sledge brings to open up a little bit of a hole. Now the ace charge opening up their hole over itself is going to reveal the position for Rice and be able to pick up a kill onto that and leave it all up for Ben to push it back as well. Lonely getting the diffuser down in the process will leave it down to 43 seconds left for him to pull it back. But the one-ways have been set up by the defense, and now we're switching to the advantage of the attack. Razor making do with that with a lovely tap to end the first round being surrendered. Round two it will be done, but first Bandits will take it.
Once again, Bandits are opening on this attack. They're looking so strong, but Kill Squad, we're seeing them when, you know, things are looking rough. They do sort of adapt and overcome, and if they do it earlier than they did in Border, then it could sway the way of Kill Squad. And if you are Bandits, you don't want any sort of free rounds to be gifted to this side, as they need to win this map. that is a requirement for them to stay in this series. And even though, you know, no team wants to go to all 3 maps, it's a must for Bandits if they want to win at all now and secure that grand final spot. So the pressure's on, and I'd imagine that they're going to do everything it takes to get themselves there. And
10 seconds left before
Kill
insertion.
Squad, they can be a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more laid back, but not too laid back. Otherwise, they might let the series and this map slip away from them.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
We're going to have to switch it up a little bit. Maybe add a little bit more aggression, because I felt like they did really good in terms of getting that map control, and it sort of left it into a rough position for Kill Squad to hold any, in terms of the ace charges opening up so many holes, the frag grenades below, just thwarting out every single position that Kill Squad tried to play in, and in the end, it was just super advantageous for them. I liked that they were trying to get those early picks, but without the refrag potential being there, it was all for nothing.
Oh, and Bandit, they've sort of got Kill Squad's number here, reading into the fact that they know that one's going to peek if they are shooting on that study window. Now, Lonely, doing so well, being so patient, and just being the rock for his team right now, holding that peak. And now he's going to get off his camp as his teammate is off of that balcony and he's no longer needed to watch it. He's going to spot that player downstairs and realize that the hatch is open. And Mackenzie is going to try and rotate away, but got to be careful that he doesn't reveal himself to any sort of angles that Bandits are holding down. And Mackenzie, even though he was sort of unaware, he takes a lot of damage, but he's able to shut down MML. Unfortunate for him, and does some more damage to JPK, but he reloads. But Eraser's there to find the refrag back.
He added himself a lot of pathways for him to use and rotate amongst the many rooms. Created a little bit of a hard position for Bandits to be able to drone him out, because he can just rotate so quickly. He finds one immediate refrag, which is what we want to see from these teams, is just refragging each other, being there for the support. Now that'll take it to a 4v4, so it's still even, but I gotta say, Kill Squad doing really well in terms of holding out the time. They are swinging it easily in their advantage this time, which is different. This is what we like to see from them. As Kulo remains on top of the study stairs to see if he can get an early pick, but the Thorn Traps are giving away the positions. The Ace Charge is being done now as well, but I believe it's being denied. You can't get the wall open, which is what was huge, or a pinnacle for your push last round. But the study stairs will be forfeited. Immediate refrag, JPK finding 2. Will take it evilly in their favor, as it's just falling apart. Eraser with a frag below. Ben tries to get the refrag as he's on the red platform, but he will narrowly miss the kill. Bullets not being able to connect just yet, but Eraser, he will find the kill in the end.
Eraser being so patient and waiting, but that's the second time he's been able to find a nade for below, and JPK really opening up the round there, finding 2 on the book's main stairs position. And Bandits are looking a whole lot better on this Villa map. Now, this is their map pick, and Kill Squad's map pick was Border, so maybe they're just more comfortable on the map that they have chosen for themselves. But it's just, once again, I don't want to curse things again, so I'm gonna stop talking.
No
but
yeah, no cast.
I think Bandits, they're looking good. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna stop it there. And they're bringing this castle as they move to the other side. They don't want to try that study side again, Elijah.
I'm probably a smart play. I mean, I don't think it worked out too well both times in a row. So, I mean, switching up definitely the smarter play. And looks like they're doing that castle extension that we get to see teams run over and over again, which works out usually. But with how the attack is playing at the moment, you need to be a little bit careful in terms of who you are dedicating yourself to holding out this closet position, as you don't have anything to thwart out these grenades, which is what Bandits have been utilizing so well. You've got no Jaeger ADSs, you've got no, well, my discs to help you. So these castles and any deployable shields that you've got, which you're not running any for this concrete position, which usually we're used to seeing teams do, they'll be able to clear it quite easily.
They will, and Eraser's been running that sledge and really getting the use out of those nades, but he's also going to be able to shut down those castle barricades that have been put up around the site and get them for free, I'd like to say, unless they choose to jump out off of them. But Kulo, he's on the roam down here in the basement. in case anyone chooses to come up these pantry stairs. I mean, Lonely, he has opened up walls, so they do want to get this below presence, but whether they choose to push it now or later is another question. But Rice, he's here just outside of China door, ready to get a pick, and he's got backup from Ben there, but JPK, he's able to pick him off, and once again finding the opening pick in the round. Bandits do so well on this Villa map so far. Now the calls will go out and reveal the positions of all the defenders, but the nade! Organiser hitting the wrong key. You're giving me a heart attack and I'm not even the one playing.
That was close. I mean, lucky he didn't cook it at all, otherwise it would have been a huge downfall that early in the round. Now Drift be able to clean up Mackenzie as well. Rice trying to get a little bit of refrag to make it easier for his team, but the live droning is just making it that much harder. They're going to be able to reveal his position inside of the downstairs, trying to push down to the concrete basement, but he's going to go up Astro instead, and JPK looking like he's wanting to watch those rotates. Now there's nobody there though. He's pushed back up into Astro, but look at the fanned out positions coming out from Bandits, making sure that they've got no room to sit comfortably at all. Now he will be droned out. Rice looking so uncomfortable, running back and forth. He just can't seem to sit anywhere safely. JPK being able to collect the kill onto Kulo will leave it all up for Faulty and Rice to pull it back with a minute left to do so as well. Now you've still got a C4 as well. Castle, not the best gun to run, but the 1.5 will do all the work it can as the grenades are coming out below, making sure Faulty can't sit anywhere too comfortable as well. Barricades being dropped. He will try to hit the shot with the MPX and he'll do it successfully, and now give him a little bit more of a leadway and wiggle room to work for these last 50 seconds.
Oh, and Rice got a nice angle onto that master window, and he chooses to fall off of it. He knows that there's one near the bathroom window ready to jump in. 40 seconds left on the clock. Bandits, they have the man advantage, but they don't necessarily have the map control as much as they would like. But they are coming up these Astro stairs. They know the position of the castle, and they're going to start to come on through. JPK with a triple in the round. It's all left to Faulty. He finds his second. He needs to ace to win the round. Can he do it? He tags up Michael a little bit. 15 seconds on the clock. They've got to get that plant down or find the head of Faulty. He is on that low HP. The plant will be going down, but can Faulty deny it? No C4 in hand. He goes for the swing. JPK with the quad. And Bandits, so far, they are looking good on this attack, and they've won every single round that has been presented to us.
Last two members doing all the work they can to bring it back, but a 3-0 has been awarded to Bandits, looking so confident on their map of Villa. This time it was their pick, starting out an attack as well. They did really well on the first map. It's going to come over to the second map, and they're going to be able to see KJ. The very first timeout of this matchup is being rewarded to Kill Squad. They're going to have to use it and see what they're doing wrong, because a 3-0, that's not looking good.
Yeah, not a single timeout was used last map, but because this is the second map, this is what decides whether we go to that map 3 or if Kill Squad bring it back once again under the pressure to deny that idea from happening and stopping Bandits from having any sort of chance going into that grand final. But right now, they're on their way to that third map, and by the looks of it, nothing can stop them. But with that timeout, Kill Squad, they can reset, they can regroup, and they can decide what they want to do with these next 3 rounds and how they want to play it out. But now, using that timeout so early into the game, they don't have access to it later if they do go on that winning streak, and then they might lose a couple more rounds. They don't have that benefit, whereas Bandits do.
I'm reloading.
They need to have an answer here. Otherwise, I feel like if you're on Villa, if you're not winning your defenses, you're not winning at all. So you need to make something to get something in your name before you do the switch off, because it's really hard to gain anything back on a team that is super strong on attack. Now that they're switching over to defense, you can imagine that with this being Bandit's pick, they're going to be just as strong on their defense.
5 seconds left.
Yeah, hopefully for Bandits, they can win this round and sort of change the narrative that we've been seeing, at least from the last map. But Kill Squad, we've seen them do it time and time again. But is it too much to ask for it to happen once again on map 2? But it would be definitely something to see and something to witness if they can manage to pull it together. But right now, it looks like for the most part. They're not really extending into that master side, Elijah. They're more so extending into this library living sort of area, and it's not a unusual play, but it's not exactly a stock standard orthodox sort of play either.
Already getting so much control. I'm liking the entry coming out early as well. We've seen this angle be used time and time again, but Bandits, they are looking so comfortable getting that first early pick as well onto your smoke. Mackenzie falling there, not a good look, as the smoke is such a pivotal part of holding out this defense. Now, calls to go out as well to reveal the positions, and this is where Bubbly Ben is going to focus his attention in holding out this 90 hall. Now, he has got the Fenrir. The Lafia gadgets there as well. And the nice shots to remove MML is going to make it that much easier.
Yeah, they have the intel there, and he's actually using those fear gadgets in pocket. He has another 2, so he's sort of utilizing them on the go, and it's an interesting sort of take to do it. Definitely viable. You know, it's not too hard to set up. It's not like you have to place it. You just throw it, and then you hold F to activate it, or whatever your key is. But what a nice shot from him as well. Not only is he placing the utility, but he's finding the shots. But JPK, he's hitting his shots, and he's able to eliminate Hulo from the board. And the thing is, they don't have the Goyo this time, Elijah, so they can't pop those Goyo packs and hope for the best. Smoke is eliminated from the board as well, so there's no sort of denial for that plan or for those entries apart from that Fenrir gadget. I'm pretty sure the Valkyrie C4 has been utilized as well, so it's all going to come down to these gunfights in this last 50 seconds of the round.
Well, Faulty does have a shotgun as well, so if they are trying to push this skull position and get the plant down at the default, then they're going to have to deal with him, and they have got a player in study as well, so potentially those head holes could become an issue, but you're going to have to first deal with Valkyrie as Rice is holding the position to make sure that anybody pushing from study to get that control, it's going to make it a little bit harder. But the upside down rappel adding so much pressure, especially from this position that Faulty is playing on. Hopefully you aren't thought out through the head holes that are given. Now you can see 2 of the members on the side of Bandits have rotated to go for the default plant. You can see Dokkaebi setting himself up nicely for a little bit of a study hold as well. C4 to be blown, but it won't be able to finish off Lonely, and a triple in the round for JPK will leave it all up for Rice to pull back. He'll be able to get up 1 onto Drift though, but he needs to stop the plan. It will get down successfully. A 2v1 situation for him. Both the players getting done for a little bit of HP, especially for Lonely, but the triple, the 4th, I believe it was for JPK as well, through the head holes to get himself a nice run. That's 4-0 for Bandits at the moment.
This is a different fairy tale than what we saw in map 1, Elijah. And JPK, he had a rough start map 1, then he picked up, and it's continuing into map 2. He is going absolutely ham. I actually don't know the kills that he is on right now. We'll see in a short little bit, but I feel like he is absolutely putting in work for his team and really helping in terms of the frag department, but the rest of the team is, I would imagine, enabling him to do so. So Bandits, they're playing really well around each other, and if they can keep that up, it's going to look good when they go over to the defense. Now, Kill Squad, they're going to go to a site we haven't seen them play yet. They're going to go to that kitchen dining. They want to keep things moving. They want to try something different. They need anything to find around here, so why not go to somewhere that they haven't tried yet?
Well, these territory sites, they have the ability to cut them off and make it really different as well. And I like the you bringing up as well, JPK, with his kills. Finally hitting that double digits thanks to that last round of the 4K.
10 and 1.
Only dropping once.
Crazy.
They can't seem to finish him off, and it might be Villa these teams are comfortable with, because we got to see just the other day when we got to see a Villa, one of the players, Captain Oz. How many kills did he drop? 23 and 5.
It's a frag heavy map, man. I'm telling you. And Faulty, he is running the pulse, but he isn't the Captain Oz impersonator. He's not running that shotgun. But a lot of intel coming out on that kitchen dining site. A lot of teams like to do this and run a lot of C4s. They have 3 in the pocket and able to play off the intel of the Valkyrie camera and that pulse scanner. So hopefully they can find some picks off it. And in Bandit's case, hopefully they don't fall to those C4s, and hopefully they're aware the way that Kill Squad are playing. And have an IQ, so they're not able to spot out where these cams and where these C4s are being placed, but they can definitely drone it.
Looks like they're going for what is comfortable, which we always see that Bandits, they really like pushing this living first, getting that bathroom control by jumping in the single window and see if they can find some picks, but they've got a little bit of an extension coming out from Kill Squad this time if they've dedicated 2 people to hold this living room, one closer to library, the other one closer to the fireplace as well, so directly stopping them from getting that control, but they've already made their way inside of piano as well, and you can see the breach charges being used and the global utility to stop them in their tracks as well. Drift being able to find their very first pick, and he's looking for the second as well, and he'll be able to directly run into the engagement as well and pick it up. Nice shot onto Kulu, and it's just a flurry of kills for Bandits at the moment as the next player they need to deal with is Mackenzie, and he is inside of the closet now. He does have an SMG and a shotgun, so walking into his crossfire might not work out for you. The SMG just ripping apart Organiser, but you'll need to rotate away safely. The line scan trying to stop you from doing so, but you're going to be able to avoid that and in turn do so much damage back to Drift. Now the first engagement coming out again, and you're trying to bring it back as much as you can as 2 trades go out. Faulty being able to find a kill onto Drift, but Lonely's going to return an MML with a finish. Will take Bandits a 5-0 lead at the moment.
Bandits, they've woken up. They have taken something of, I don't know, some sort of power has awoken inside each and every one of them, and they're really showing up here in map 2. I don't know what they had for breakfast. We always talk about, you know, teams and their breakfasts, but their meal, whatever it is, it's definitely helping. And going into this last round of the attack for them, they could have a flawless attack, Elijah. Have we ever seen a flawless Villa attack?
No, I don't think so, because relatively, like you would see majority of the times, especially from teams at this value in terms of their competitive skill, is that usually we're very, very used to Villa being a defender-sided map. It's very, very heavily defended, I would like to say at least. It really depends on how you could utilize what is given to you. But this time, Kill Squad haven't found a single round on their defense, which isn't good. It's not a good start for them at all. And a few of their members struggling to find a place on the board at all.
Yeah, I mean, the other day we saw on the defense, like you mentioned earlier, the Captain Oz, the Naughty Sausages squad. I'm pretty sure they went 5-1 on their defense. But Rice, he's going to open up the round and do a cheeky C4 through the closet window there. And he's going to find JPK, the one that's been doing absolute work for his team, and that'll be his second death of map 2, and he's a little bit upset about that one. Rice does apologize, but he wants to get this round locked in for his team. Now they are in this kitchen dining, so they have tried every site apart from this living library site twice. Can they win this one?
Well, they're going to need to hold out this position just a little bit more, because Bandits, they're very, very successful in getting this control now. It looks like they're doing a little bit of a different approach this time. Last time they had dedicated 2 members to get that art studio first and then work their way into piano before opening up the double wall, but now they're dedicating their positions a little bit differently. Now, that could be needing to adapt and switch up so that Kill Squad can't read into play now that you're 1 player down, but it looks like Kill Squad, this time they want to match the aggression. You can see Mackenzie peeking his head out of this laundry door where he knows there is a player droning, but it looks like Lonely is aware of his position as well. You can see his drone just matched it out as well. Pre-fire coming out, just not managing to down him though. The 3 armor, Doc will be able to heal himself up back to their lovely, comfortable position of 100 HP.
Dig them out!
Yeah, Doc, he is definitely a lot stronger than he used to be, and I think definitely a lot more viable than what he used to be, because he did have some changes to his gun not that long ago, but you know, now with that ability change, definitely more viable to bring, and you're able to heal your teammates and yourself to that full HP when needed, when you don't get tagged up in the head and lose your life. So definitely useful. But Organiser, he's looking to make some use of this gun and shut down the Vigil, but Vigil, he's on the sprint. He wants to run away and not lose his life, and Kulo, he's having a rough day today, Elijah, so hopefully he can waste more time here. But Organiser, it's a bit of tag here, and they're just waiting. I think Kulo is aware that he's being chased, but it's a little bit of tiggy here, Elijah. They're just trying to tag each other that little bit, but 40 seconds on the clock, and I think for the most part, Kill Squad, they've done a great job of wasting a lot of this time, and Bandits a little bit lost on where they want to go, but they're going to start to have to go now, and MML will open up the round and find Ben. I don't quite know where that was, maybe in Living, but Rice, he's near this grandfather clock, and Lonely, he finds Faulty, but Rice finds the frag back onto MML. We're down to this 3v3.
Ooh, a quick swing from Rice will be able to get one, but a trade will be due as Lonely is able to work it back to a 2v2. Organiser with a nice shot though, but immediate Mackenzie's position is given away! Mackenzie keeping your team to get at least one round, not suspecting you to be laying behind the couch into dining.
They find a round. They shut down that flawless attack, but welcome back to the game. You're in it, you're back in it, but you are on the attack now. Now, like you said, you think that it's more of a defender-sided map, but so far that isn't the case for the side of Kill Squad. Maybe on their attack, they'll do just as much damage as Bandits. I mean, we've seen them under pressure before, but that was 3 rounds. Now there's a 4-round difference between the two teams. Can they do it? I mean, anything is possible when you have these two teams involved, Elijah.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I got to agree, but I mean, if the narrative is going to continue that this is a defender-sided map, judging from what we've seen from the past players in this tournament, Bandits have a lot of comfortability now. They're switching over to attack, and hopefully they can be strong here, because you know they weren't as strong with their defense, at least on border. But now that we're switching over to their map pick, their place that they are comfortable. They started out on attack. They've got so much room, but we've seen teams like this before where they have so much room. They've got such a huge lead that they begin to have a little bit of a silly, goofy moment. You know, they like to throw away a couple of rounds, try new things, stuff like that, which is all fun and good. You know, try new things, have some fun. That's what we're here for in the end. But if you get a little bit too silly, you eventually let Kill Squad build a momentum. And then in the end, they'll end up pulling it back, and it's already being the case now. JPK falling to try to get a little bit of a spawn peak, but MML will be the one to trade it back, though. Make sure he doesn't get too far ahead of himself.
Yeah, and that's one set of nades from the sledge off the board, and we've seen how deadly the nades can be from below. We saw Organiser on this side specifically utilize it in his half. Can Kulo utilize the nades for himself and his team? And they have the intel on where Kulo is, I'm pretty sure. I don't... Was that a drone or was that...
It was a drone. It
was a drone, okay. Okay. But...
Unless it was a Mozzie.
They are... True. This is true. I didn't get to quite see, but... Right now, it's just a bit of a stalemate. A little bit of stalling out as they figure out where they want to go. But we didn't see this take from Bandits last time. They're droning from below. They want to go for a bit of a main take, Elijah, but Lonely. The smoke, he's going to fall from the vert, and Kulo, he's going to be the one to down him, and if he uses this nade, he could find the finish, but just not the right position. He's going to get picked up. If he used the nade to find that, he might find 2, but I think it's a little bit late now.
He'll be able to connect 1 in the end, though. Kulo being able to get that 1 off, but immediate trade back as Drift gets his engagement and wins it on the bottom of Study Stairs. Now, Kulo is trying to work that pick back, but with the barbed wire, and a gun that Goyo brings as well, the Vector with a 1.5 is a dangerous aspect to need to deal with. Now, he is in a little bit of a pinched position, though. There is one at the bottom of the study stairs, and there's also a rappel happening on the study bulk as well. The frag grenades, the double as well, but the stuns are going to go through. He will be able to do a little bit of damage, but nothing too serious, though, as MML tries to find the player into study. Unsuccessfully, he will be able to rotate away, being unpunished as well. Didn't get a pick off it. Nomads will go out to stop the flank. Kulo trying to get himself up into the book's position. Nobody in study as well, so that control being forfeited. Need to work out a little bit there. Almost hitting each other in the head, but there's still a Goyo on this study door as well. So if you're able to pop that with 20 seconds left, it could be detrimental for the round. But Riot being able to clean up MML to take it down to a 3v2. So Kill Squad looking strong on their attack. It's all up for 2 last members, Organiser and Drift, to pull it back. Goyo has been popped as well, so it's going to come up to those last few seconds where they need to get the intel. You can see the drone is in bar, and he's able to read into the fact that there's nobody in there as well. Drift playing that 90 position, able to clean up Faulty. You take it down to a 2v2 with 15 seconds left. The impacts to do a little bit of damages as well. With the trades left, right, and center, we'll take it down to a 1v1. Kulo needing to get that plant down behind the bar. He'll be able to do it successfully. No contention yet. But the 1.5 on the Vector is a huge factor that you need to take into account. He's able to see him just by the pixel, but not able to connect the shot just yet. But the trades will be blown. Nothing to go at yet. A little bit of damage being peppered by both of these players, and you need to play that time game now as Drifted 50 HP, Kulo looking to be about 40, yellow pings and information being shared as you're dancing around the chassis bomb and the bar now, but he's pushed inside. Kulo hitting the shot though, and Kill Squad finding the second round in a row for their attack side.
They carry that last round victory on the defense into their attack, and Bandits, they are one round away from that match point. They're not able to secure that first defense. You know, it's not all over, but to kick things off here, Kill Squad, they've got that momentum now. They're building it slowly, and when they have that momentum, it can be absolutely detrimental, so don't let it even occur. Bandits, don't let it happen to you a second time round. Shut it down as early as you can, and hopefully we don't see another overtime game, or it'd be even more upsetting if Bandits, they don't even find the match point, Elijah.
That's the last thing that you want to happen, is when you get this many rounds up and out of nowhere you're choking and you let them work all the way back and we match point, which I guess is what happened last time, but this time it'll be even worse because the amount of rounds that Bandits were up against Kill Squad, it's a little bit of a fumble, a huge fumble, even.
It is, and that will be in the back of their minds as it did occur in the previous map, so hopefully they don't let it slip this time. But they've got all this vert available to them in the bar to try and pressure those of Kill Squad that love to push below and try and find these nades or find these picks of their own. But they're going to drone out. They know that they're playing in this living position, and Warden having a little bit of dance with this drone, but finally able to eliminate it from the board. And Kill Squad, they're going to start galloping into the site very, very shortly.
Well, this is where you need to sit. It looks like both of these teams, they really like the comfortability that it brings in taking this dining first and utilizing the frag grenades to see if you can either take out some of the positions or the players who are upstairs, or maybe get them to isolate themselves a little bit more so that another player who's potentially on the study balcony or maybe made their way up books can collect up a nice easy kill while they're trying to stay alive from those frag grenades. And majority of the players, they need to deal with these downstairs players anyway, because they could potentially go for that C4, which MML being the only player on the roster having a C4 in his hand. But JPK utilized the MPX 1.5 to collect himself a nice up kill, but immediately refragged though as Mackenzie pushes downstairs and catches Drift off guard. Now, he was the player last time, doing really well. He's got the top frag, not the top fragger, the second top fragger of his team as JPK follows up the first.
Yes, he's doing very, very well, but Mackenzie will be caught off guard as well as Faulty as MML and Organiser find their respective picks. But Lonely with a TK onto Organiser, I don't know how that happened, but that is not what you want to be happening. The comms could be a little bit crazy from that, but MML stays composed. He's able to shut down Kulo, but Rice to down him, and now we're in a 2v1 situation. Bandits, they just need to hold their ground, play their crossfires, and not give Rice 1v1s. There's still a lot of time to play with, so he can definitely find it if he would like, but it seems like they're playing their crosses. One's going to Skull, the other one's got the cross from Bar, but Rice, he's going to flash his way in, and he's going to push into top books.
All the smoke canisters now being used. You've got none left. Rice trying to get as much time in his favor as he can, but the Goyos being popped is going to make it that much harder as they burn for about 20 seconds left, so you're going to have to rely on 10 last few seconds push through, so you have to rotate yourself back. Last smoke canister to be popped now as well, and they're just playing the time for him at the moment as he pushes in deep. The crossfires from JPK being able to connect it. A huge round for him will collect Bandits their match point.
I don't think he saw him through the shield, but well played from Bandits. They secure that match point and make it a little bit safer for them to play as they continue to hold it down on the defense. But now, Kill Squad tasked again with an impossible situation, or what looked like an impossible situation. They did it 3 rounds last time. Now they're back to 4 rounds within this map. So do they have it again in them to bring it all the way back and go into the overtime once again, or are they going to fall short and we're going to go to that map 3?
I think it's pretty much in the favor for Bandits at the moment. Match point. We did talk about last time how Kill Squad are a very comfortable team, especially when it comes to those dire situations of a comeback or a clutch situation. If there's any team to do it, it will be Kill Squad. So I mean, there's still room. Anything can happen. It is Siege. We've seen it happen before. It's doable again, but Bandits looking ever so comfortable on Villa. I'm just going to believe that this is it. Bandits, this is your map. Easy done. You're going to be able to take us to that third map, Theme Park, which has a completely different playstyle as well. So we'll be able to see these teams clash up there, but unless Kill Squad, they have a huge answer here and they're going to make me eat my words, the caster curse will kick in, then this is all for Bandits.
Wrong defender map, my boy. Not Theme Park. You know, Theme Park would be an interesting one for sure. It is the skyscraper.
A skyscraper, sorry, Theme Park. That would have been cool.
But we will be going to it, and with the way that both these teams are playing, skyscraper, I don't know who it favors more. I mean, Bandits, they love the structure and whatnot, but on a map like skyscraper, if you've got that defense first, it's very defense decided, and you know, Kill Squad, they love to swing on their defense and really go for those spawn peaks and whatnot. So I think it could work in their favor as well.
Needing to try to get open this closet. See if they can get a little bit of an angle inside of kitchen as well. The observation block is coming out as well to block a little bit of intel that is provided on the footholds that are in the laundry walk-in. Looks like Mackenzie's going for a little bit of a lurker, live drone as well. Yellow pings to go out to reveal the player of the bottom red. His position will be given away for ulti. Be able to connect the kill onto MML to be the very first blood as well. And that's your Mozzie being removed this early on. So if you had the C4 still you have to use, you won't be able to use it for the rest of the round. And yet, 2 kills out for Kill Squad as JPK will be able to fall to the likes of Kulo. And they just need to get a little bit more drone work before they do their work. Now, I believe top floor control has been forfeited as well. So if they are able to utilize those Ash charges or potential buck as well, which they've brought out, they can isolate these last few gunfights to completely pinch them out. Now, Organiser trying to get some shots through the wall. His position will be revealed. They know exactly where he is playing inside of the memorial, but pushing into a shotgun, need to be a little bit careful of.
Definitely do. We've seen how much damage that shotgun can do at that close range, but the pings are going to come out from that Yana clone, so Faulty is aware of the player in pantry, as well as Ben, who's pushing up these stairs. So Drift, he's got to be careful of his positioning here. He doesn't want to fall victim to the buck from below, and he's going to lose his life in that engagement. It's all left to, I was going to say Razor and Lonely, but all left to Lonely as he finds one, but only can find the one. And Rice finds him. And Kill Squad. This isn't what you want if you're Bandits, Elijah. This isn't what we want. They're down to that 3-round deficit. But they're gaining that momentum. They're gaining the tension. It's building. Can you feel it?
It is. I mean, the rubber band is being pulled ever so tight, and it's just like the pressure, the tension for both of these teams are just ever so strong. 1 round, Bandit. That's all you need, just 1. But at the moment, Kill Squad, they don't want this to be over. They want to get as many rounds as they can, potentially do it a comeback as well. But Bandits, don't let this get to you. I mean, the last thing you want to do is start thinking in your mind that Kill Squad, they have the potential to come back, because once you think it, once you say it, you speak it into existence, and it could happen.
That's the thing, and
what do we say, KJ?
I don't know if Kill Squad, they like the challenge or something, and I feel like they try harder when it's that match point from the enemy team, and they start doing things that we don't usually see, and it all works out for them, and somehow Bandits just can't close it out. But let's hope that they can do it sometime soon. I mean, they have 3 rounds to work with, but I don't want to even think that it can go any more than this round or 1 more round alone.
Bandits, they need to shut this down. The more and more momentum that they allow Kill Squad to grab, the worse and worse it'll get. And that's exactly what happened last time as well. So You need to try something a little bit different now. You need to shut down their intel, get some early frags potential. Otherwise, Kill Squad, you'll find them doing a comeback and ruining that mental going into that third map. And if you're going into a third map with a bad mental, Kill Squad are able to take advantage of that.
They definitely can, but the Habanas, they're going to go out onto that pantry wall and deny anyone playing from that kitchen China position. And Ben's going to push up the stairs, but the Fenrir Gadget's going to give away his position, and his vision will be clouded. So they pushed into kitchen here, Elijah, when that occurred, and MML's got the cross. So Drift is going to chuck the C4, but a trade's going to go out. Lonely's going to find Faulty, but Ben defied it onto Drift, and the C4 not able to detonate. If it detonated, I think it might have found him. But no trade to come out yet. Back onto Ben.
He's going to remain unpunished. Pushing aggressively into kitchen. The position being revealed as well, as they've got 3 sets of nades, KJ, that they can use to try to get these players who are upstairs. Now Lonely trying to take advantage of the floorboards, the holes that have been priorly made for him, to see if he can get a pick from downstairs in Memorial, but it won't go out yet. And you can see the frag grenades being used as well. Thankfully, Lonely's got 2 ADSs inside of this concrete position, so he'll be able to sit nice and comfortable behind the deployable shield that has been set up for him as well. He needs to try to get some of these early picks. Now, Rice is the only player as well, joined by Ben, who's on this balcony player as well. You can see Kulu utilizing these frag grenades below, but he won't be able to connect the kills just yet, and he's going to have to rotate himself to get the pinch going from Astra stairs and bathroom, which is what Kill Squad are looking to do as they jump inside a bathroom. 2 members there, but the Glass is already on top. He can't hit the shots. Eraser will be able to connect though and leave it down to a 3v3 as Ben finds a pick for himself now. 45 seconds left on the clock, and just a flurry coming all across the ball for both of these teams. JPK in a rough position behind the chassis will be revealed, and Kill Squad looking ever so strong, and they're making their comeback doable as they hit a 4-6.
Rice, he starts to sit up in his chair a little bit and realizes that it is possible once again. I don't know on the back of what, but it's happening again. The Kill Squad, they're bringing it that much closer, and what was such a dominant attack side for Bandits, they're not able to find it on the defense, and you can see that it's starting to get to them a little bit. There's no real smiles, and I think they just want it to be over so they can go to the next map. They don't want it to go to overtime once again, because I think if it goes into overtime, it's Kill Squad's game every time. We've seen every time that they've gone to that overtime, they've taken the W. So don't let it happen, Bandits. You've got 2 rounds. End it here. Don't let them get to that last round before they can get to that overtime. Just end it here and take us to that lovely skyscraper.
Well, it looks like Bandits might have bitten off more that they can chew now as the choke begins. Kill Squad finding themselves so many rounds in a row on their attack side, so definitely flipping the narrative of whether this map is a attacker or defender sided, and making it seem like it is so attacker heavy sided, because it looks like it's the trend. Attackers win this map every single time, and I guess it speaks into how these players communicate with each other. I guess they like the pushing rather than waiting to be pushed.
But you'd think that with the current scoreline, or the scoreline that it was a few rounds ago, that Kill Squad would be the one under pressure. But for some reason, I don't feel that. It feels like Bandits are the one under pressure, Elijah. And I don't know if you feel that, but for some reason I do.
I definitely feel the pressure for Bandits, that's for sure. I mean, this many rounds lost in a row on match point, and what we've already seen come out as well by Kill Squad and Bandits on border is that they choked last time, and it just shows that they can lose this choke again. It can happen over and over and over again, and Mackenzie's going to be the factor in that, as he's already trying to push inside of Astro, picking his head out the door, making sure the default is closed as well. Trying to rotate away safely is going to be MML, as he doesn't want to lose his early engagement. But Faulty is going to take the first one though, utilizing the skeleton key to get himself more ground, but taking out JPK in the process, as you can tell already that the north side of the map is being forfeited, as they've already got control of Statuary Trophy and Astro. Now you need to be a little bit careful of the lurkers. Set up those flank watches, as There could be a player who's downstairs and ready to do the retake, but by the looks of it, it looks like that every single player for the side of Bandits are bunkering down and just waiting for them to push into the crossfires of MML, who's dedicating to this 90 hallway.
He's trying to get a lucky tap through that wolf wall onto stat, but they're going to open up that 90 window, and he's going to be forced to play a little bit more back in the hallway. Otherwise, he'll be exposed to the window and can be taken out. But the time is ticking, so getting close to that minute mark left in the round, and MML will get droned out. A little bit of a whiff on the drone, but he will secure it eventually. They're going to start to walk up that hallway and get the control of 90. The flashes to go out, but no one is there any longer. Faulty now has that 90 control position, and they can start to either open up that vault with the Habana or start to work out what they want to do on the execute. I mean, there's no one coming from that study side just of yet, so it's all going to be coming from below and from these hallways and doors, but they're going to start to open up that vault and give themselves another avenue to work with. But now we see there is one on that study balcony, Elijah, and it's going to be a massive kill box for Bandits. They need to win their engagements and maybe shut down their study player to make it that a little bit easier. So MML, I'd imagine, is going to go for this swing very, very shortly. 15 seconds left on the board. Do they have it in them?
The kills are rolling out now. Drift being able to find it, but a flurry of kills and trades from both of these teams will take it down to a 3v2. A 2v2 now as the double kill comes out, but immediately rotating as well. Bandits finally waking up and shutting them down in the last few seconds. A sigh of relief, as you can see from MML there, as he feels the pressure relieved from his chest. The choke won't be made this time, and we'll be able to go to the third map as Bandits win successfully their pick of Villa.
And you saw JPK typed there, almost choked back to back, and that definitely was the case. So we get confirmation that they had that in the back of their mind there, and luckily they closed it out 7-4, and they don't let Kill Squad get that fifth round or that one round away from getting back into that overtime position. So that was looking a little bit scary. But Elijah, we get to go to that lovely third map, and we've been egging and begging for this third map. We love seeing a game like this so close and a back and forth action between teams. So we're going to get given that, and we get the privilege of casting another map. So that would be Skyscraper. What are our thoughts about that last map, Elijah?
Man, I was looking like... I was thinking that Kill Squad, they really had the potential there to pull back. It really looked like Bandits were struggling on their defense on their map pick as well. Thankfully, although the score will indicate a 7-4, it was a lot closer, and you could tell and you could feel. I know you and I, KJ, we could definitely feel the pressure coming on from Bandits after every single round win that Kill Squad were able to collect for themselves, and that's going to get them. Luckily enough, they were able to close out that very last round and move to that theme park. Not theme park, sorry, I said it again, Skyscraper, which is a different sort of map to be played as well in terms of the two that we've seen. So a little bit more structure coming into play for both of these teams, and hopefully they didn't burn themselves out on the last two maps that we've seen. Otherwise, Skyscraper, I mean, one of these teams could just easily sweep it.
I mean, the last time we saw the third map be Skyscraper, it was Trident, Elijah, and we saw how dominant Trident was against Nutty on a map like that, and maybe it was just the stamina that we like to talk about, and maybe they were just really tired. So hopefully for either team, they can hold their own and really show up going into this third map. But we're gonna go to a quick break. So before we go, any last words, Elijah?
I guess that's all it for us. We'll try to get as fast as we can into the next map for you guys to make sure that these players don't warm out and they keep this excitement for you guys. So if you guys are excited to see a very highly anticipated Skyscraper game to collect one of these teams their win and get themselves closer to that grand final and kick one of these two teams down to that lower bracket, come back in 5 minutes and we'll be here for you guys. But until then, I guess we'll have to see you guys soon.
See you guys soon.
Go!
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the third map of this evening against Kill Squad and Bandits facing up against each other. And for those of you who are just joining us now, two maps have already been played and the result of both will leave these teams to a 1-1, with Border being our very first map played to game. Overtime match point is what we hit, Kill Squad being the benefactors of that, though an immediate trade up though as we go to Villa, which was Bandit's pick. They were able to win that 7-4, so a little bit more of a stretch now, but both of those two maps, Fragger heavy. Now we're going to switch over to a more of a structured defense, but before we get into the game though, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Elijah Hartz.
And I'm KJ Assassin, and I'm keen for this best of three, Elijah. It's already been a banger of a series, and we get to finish it off on this lovely skyscraper map. Now, Kill Squad, they are on that defense first, and Bandits on the attack. Now, we did see some interesting plays the other day on skyscraper, and it doesn't necessarily always have to be defender-sided if you can really work out your attack and work well together. But we saw Panic struggle a little bit when they were attacking, and I think that was just for the most part. They weren't really sure with what they wanted to do, and they didn't have the adaptation in place. So I think with these teams, they know how to make the plays on the fly. They know what to do when the thing, when the shit hits the fan, I'd like to say. So I think when it comes down to it, I think they can both make the plays on the attack. But a Kill Squad, if they can find that advantage on the defense, Elijah, it could be looking scary. But I'd like to say that Bandits could definitely be a contender on the attack.
Both of these teams putting on display at the moment that they are really comfortable on their attacking side rather than defending side. So I wonder if that'll carry on as we push into skyscraper. But very first two attacker bans to be forfeited up, and that'll be Knock, which has been banned 3 times this evening on all 3 maps. So definitely Bandits don't want to leave that lurk potential up. Thatcher being the very first attacker ban to be swallowed up as well. So getting rid of those EMPs is definitely going to help the defense a lot as well, especially with Kill Squad starting out there as well. Thatcher being a very strong contender in skyscraper, and Solus will be the last one to follow. Oh, the first defender, sorry, to follow.
Yeah, I think Solus being banned every time as well. I think those are just stock standard bans for Bandits, Elijah. I think they don't want to deal with the knock. They don't want to deal with that lurk potential. They don't want to deal with any sort of denial from below with that Solus or eliminating their pre-placed drones. And Valkyrie getting knocked off the board as well. So both heavy intel bans there, and JPK warming up the hands, ready for some action in map 3. And he's been pretty consistent across both maps tonight. Can he do it a third time on map 3?
We're going to have to see how we can hold up on a different sort of map this time. So, I mean, I can see it's JPK. He's put on a show for us before. I believe that he can do it again. This time, opting to play that ace player. So, a little bit more support, but that gun, one of the best in the game to have in your hands. So, he can do some damage with it.
definitely could. But the Cade coming out, and we saw an interesting Cade the other day on the stairs. Elijah.
On house,
on
right?
the house. Yeah. So I wonder if Kill Squad utilized that, because I think that's a good one. And when you don't have Thatcher available to you, you have to use those pocket EMPs, and you have to be rather direct with where you throw it if you want it to deny that wall utility. So I think that's a good one. I might start running them in my ranked games, but whether we see, you know, Ben utilize it on house or utilize it for that office wall is another question. I think he's going to use it on the office wall a little bit better than denying that house wall, but
Well,
we're seeing Fenrir in play as well.
I feel like it was the right choice for when we got to see the Panic and Naughty Sausages do it, because they weren't really focusing on their extension inside of offices. You know, they had the double reinforcements on Shrine instead of worrying about holding Exhibition and having any sort of pressure put there. They were more focused on having that position closed on top of top house as well, and focusing, having a little bit of a safe space to hide behind that Shrine. But this time, they're using their extension out into offices and already being forfeited control as well this early on. They know exactly where the Cade Claw is, so they're able to get rid of it and use that impact EMP successfully. One already being distributed as well, but Mackenzie ready to go for a swing, but it looks like a TK down that was made as a trade by both Kill Squad and Bandits get put out. MML will be the result. He's able to get picked up though. No kills to go out yet. It looks like Wamai Kulo looking to get the finish there. He has got the impact to do so as well, but immediately finding a kill in due process will be JPK to fall. Your ace charges has been removed. You still have the exothermics that Lonely can provide on the thermite, but it's falling apart. But MML will be the one to bring it back.
Yeah, that's the thing about these two teams. They've just been doing so well at bringing that man count back recently, and on Skyscraper, bringing that back only halfway in the round, 3v3, definitely going to help you as you push towards the side. But you got more steps to take. You got to find this shrine control. You got to find that drum control before you start to pressure that T side, unless you want to swap your attack. But I think it's a little bit too late to do so. And MML, he is quite tagged. He is on that 20 HP, so he can't be down any longer. And Kulo, he's on that 60 HP. So and Faulty, he's on about 40. So there's tags all round, Elijah. So it's definitely doable for Bandits, but Kill Squad, if they just hold their ground and don't really peek, they play their crossfires, they play together, they can win this first round on the defense. But the flashes to go out, the Warmitis to catch some of them, and Razor's actually going to find himself be flashed in that situation. He's going to be eliminating these keeper barriers so he can have a little bit better of a peek, but they're just stalling for time right now. They have another exothermic to open up that T wall, but that's if they can get close enough to it.
Looks like they're doing really well in getting that control as well. Flash is going to go through to see if you can add a little bit of space there. Skeleton Key doing work, but the keeper barrier is making it just that much harder to be able to crawl through the space that you've made. You've got 15 seconds left to pull this together, but Faulty and Lonely going to find picks for themselves, and Faulty finding two in the process, a triple in the round, but Rice will be the person who finishes it off.
Kill Squad, they find the first round here in map 3, and although it wasn't that bad of an attack from Bandits either. They were able to find their trades here and there, but it came down to a 1v2, so not the situation that they want, but still a lot of rounds on the attack to work with. And I think, judging by the way that round goes, now we're going to go to that work office exhibition site, which is a little bit easier to attack, I'd like to say. If you can shut down any sort of runouts from that terrace side, you can get that wall open on office, and then you're directly on the site, so you can sort of work out how you want to deal with the players on the side. If you want to go below and nade them off, or if you want to do some vert with the buck or something like that. There's a whole lot of options for you to take on a map like Skyscraper, but it's all left to the minds of Bandits. Now, I think Faulty, he missed JPK's cam there in delivery, so maybe they're going for a little bit of a below push, Elijah, and find these vertical picks, but they're going to be careful that they don't fall victim to any angles that Kill Squad choose to set up.
You can see Faulty being really, really cautious and trying to look for these drones, these pre-places that Kill Squad, Bandits, sorry, can set up for themselves. Because that's a huge aspect on trying to defend that side. You need to make sure that they have no info on your positions, otherwise those frag grenades can become a huge problem, or potentially getting those pinches in altogether. So he's being really cautious and trying to hold that downstairs position now. Hopefully, kill squad, they can hold it. Maybe bandits, they could even read into the fact that you're holding that side so heavily that they might want to do a different sort of push. But Organiser already making his way inside of bedroom as well, taking out those default cams to do a little bit of droning for himself. These frag grenades, you've got 4 sets, you can work for it.
They definitely can, and if they can find at least one pick from it, it's already benefiting you in general. But they're using the IQ as well to find these K claws, so they're really getting the worth out of this vertical push, but they're going to be careful that they don't get flanked. So hopefully they have the cams in place or the people in place to hold those angles. But right now, we're just waiting on the time. Organiser actually takes some damage from his own nade there, so he's going to be careful about how he cooks it. But there is one in reception there. He does spot him out, so the call will be made, the position will be revealed, but JPK will be taken out from Mackenzie on the house stairs. Now Faulty, he was the bait to lure JPK in, and well played on Kill Squad's part. But the nade's going to come out, and Organiser's going to find the trade back onto Rice. Now that's Jaeger. You know, all his utility is down, so not all is lost, but that is a player off the board, and the EMPs will be coming out. The first one misses, the second one will succeed, but will a thermite detonate in time? It will, and the wall will be opened.
Oh, just in time as well, but Drift, he'll be able to find a pick for himself. The C4 will go out, but I believe it was shot out, or at least electrocuted, sorry, but he'll be able to remain fine. Yellow ping is going out to reveal the position inside of the lounge bar, but a nice pixel set up by Faulty will be able to remove Drift, that global utility. Now this is Fenrir coming into the ability as well. Organiser on the downside for that engagement, losing a huge chunk of his HP. Leave it all up for Organiser and Lonely to work it back in a 3v2 deficit now. As he's pushed to the bottom of drum, he's able to pick up a kill for himself and make it even to a 2v2 as Kulo was completely unaware of the position. Now Faulty able to get a kill onto Lonely in return. Leave it all up for Organiser to push it back. Now he's made his way inside of Lounge. The office position is unknown. Mackenzie with a nice little spot. They're able to clear out nice and easy, and Kill Squad looking so strong so far.
They're looking clean with it, and they're utilizing that new operator rather well. I mean, it definitely caught Organiser off guard, and he got some damage done to him when he tried to enter into that drum. So good use of Fenrir there, and sort of spotting out the positions of the way that Bandits want to play on this map. Now, it's still coming down to these last few seconds and coming down to these last few engagements. So it's not like Bandits are getting completely dominated on the attack. They are sort of finding their picks here and there. I think it's just the control that they're getting isn't enough to find them being able to utilize it to get onto the site or find the picks on the site. They're always trailing with those man disadvantages, Elijah, and it just seems too much for them to bring it back.
Well, now you're going to that tertiary site, which is really hard from what we've seen from teams that they need to defend it. A lot of versatility in terms of the options that you can take as an attacker. It makes it really hard in terms of what you need to dedicate yourself in terms of holding. Now you can sort of extend yourself. A little bit of a miscommunication, but it looks a bit there, but they'll be able to rotate. Do it a little bit differently this time as they're trying to talk amongst themselves and what they want to do. Head holes instead of a rotate this time, as it looks like there might be a person who's dedicating to playing that vertical spot alive inside of Geisha. Playing his life there, making sure that he spends every last second in stopping Bandits from getting that control.
Now we gotta make mention, Elijah, what these two teams are fighting for. This map decides who secures themselves in that grand final. Obviously, this is the best of 3. This is the 3rd map. Both teams have had 1 map each so far, and whoever wins has the chance at winning that $1,200 of that first place, or they at least secure $700 if they fall short here in this map. But something to think about, and what will be on the minds of these players as they battle it out here on Skyscraper.
Best not to focus too much on that though, and work your mind in the game that is in hand, otherwise you'll find yourselves falling short, which nobody wants to do this early on. You've made yourself the BO3 and you put in all this effort, you may as well take it the full distance and take the win. Nobody wants to be the team that falls short in the end, but speaking of falling short though, MML will be able to get picked up nice and easily as Ben, with a previously set up hole, is able to collect a kill for himself, matched by Faulty, who's removed JPK. Fine scan. Going out though. Faulty being able to get the pick up onto a Razor, taking it down to a 4v2 deficit for them at the moment. Mackenzie, he's going to be able to hold on top of the black stairs, accompanied by Ben as well, holding his cross. It's going to make it really hard for Drift to be able to expose himself if he so dares to push out into the hallway, but he's going to have to do so with Lonely. Now, they do have some stun grenades left to use as well, so potentially, if he uses it in the right time, he could be able to get himself a little bit of leadway, but the C4 is going to be able to shut down Drift, though, and leave it all for Lonely to pull it back. Now, he's got 2 members up here that he needs to clear before eventually working his way downstairs into Barbecue. But with all the head holes that are set up, he's sort of in a really pinched out position at the moment. And Kueller is going to be the person to finish out the round as well. The head holes being set up nicely for him.
It's just looking rough for Bandits right now. Obviously, we talked about it. It's a skyscraper defense map. But in terms of the attacks, it's not working for them. They need to at least find 1, maybe 2 within this map. Otherwise, I'd say it would be GG, but we've seen things come back. We've seen things happen today and the entirety of this Nova tournament. So it's never out of the question for any team when down in the deficit. But with Skyscraper, I just feel like it's very, very difficult to come back from. But they do have that advantage of going to the defense later on. But they need to at least find 1 or 2 rounds here on the attack. So let it be this round here as Kill Squad. They do their perfect rotation of all 3 sides. They completed that tertiary one in the last round. And now they get to repeat all of them. Faulty right now, 8-0. Hasn't dropped off a single round yet in the 3 rounds that have been played and has found 8 kills.
10 seconds to insertion.
So putting in the work for his team right now. And it's usually the case that we've seen come from Faulty in a lot of these games, wouldn't you say, Elijah?
I'd have to agree. Faulty being one of the most consistent players I've seen so far. Always managing to pull out for his team when there is in the dire need. At the moment, they're sitting really comfortable, though, on that 3-0. And Bandits, they need to find a little bit of an answer. Now, this could be a testament to 2 things. Either they are really uncomfortable on their attack, and maybe they're really, really comfortable when they switch over to their half on defense. But obviously, you need to get some rounds for yourselves. Or they burnt themselves out. They got choked the very first map. When it came over to the second half of the second map on Villa, they choked as well. But they were able to secure it in the very last end. But they did drop a few more rounds. Now that we've switched over to the third map, Bandits not being able to secure themselves 1 yet. Starting out on attack, which is what they were favorable. It's not looking good.
It definitely is not looking good. And they've managed to open up some walls, though. So they're going to start to make their way through this Geisha eventually, or at least pressure those in Drum and Geisha. But Mackenzie, he's been an absolute nuisance, and he shuts down Drift. So that's your Twitch off the board. DMR potential, but he misses the pick here outside of Geisha onto, I do believe, the A. So he's tagged up to 50 HP. Now he's on about 20 or 10. But JPK, he does shut him down. He does find the refrag, only just.
Luckily, being able to get away with your life. Still looking okay. A very important player to leave up as well. You got a minute 30 left. Looking like Kill Squad are doing really well in terms of controlling the time that Bandit have left. Especially now you're still holding this position into Shrine as well. The observation blocker being a huge problem for knowing exactly what's on the other side of it. You're able to deal with that and reveal that there is a deployable shield with 2 ADSs behind it as well. You probably won't be able to spot out the 2 ADSs though. So Rice will be able to hold this position comfortably. But Drum, he's able to read into that there is nobody holding his position there. So he's able to go off nice and easily now. Gon 6 is going to be able to deal with the deployable shield. Colin's going to buy a little bit more time for Rice, but he's going to have to be a little bit careful of when they eventually come close to his doors. Now there's 40 seconds left. Eraser's be able to get the first shot though and leave his way into the team doing their execute. Now Faulty with a median trade though will leave it down to a 3v3 for both of these teams to work and get that plant down, but the positions not looking like they're in the best position at all.
No, 20 seconds on the clock. JPK is on that low HP. He has given the diffuser to Lonely, but they're going to open up this wall and start to go for the plan. But JPK, he finds another pick. That's his second in the round on that low HP. So he's definitely been able to do some damage. But Rice in this box, able to shut down MML. But the refrag from Lonely to come out. And it's all left to Faulty to clutch it. Is he going to find two and clutch up the round? No! Bandits, they find their first round. JPK on the low HP finds a triple. And Bandits, they finally have the answer that they have been looking for and find themselves back in the game.
I saw JPK's sigh of relief just there as he was able to secure himself very first round win so far, which is good for them. I feel like they need this momentum. I feel like what we got to see last time, the first half was a little bit rough for Kill Squad this time. They're doing really well on the switch up. Finally, Bandits being able to wake up on the third map of this evening. Hopefully, this is where things change up for them and they can get themselves some rounds consecutively in a row. Otherwise, I don't know what to expect on the second half.
Yeah, the second half, it's where all things changed by the seams of Elijah. Everything just flips on its head, and I like that about these sort of matchups. We can never tell who the winner will be, and it's always that mystery that really sort of gets the blood pumping and the excitement and the tension brewing, and I just love to see that from a good game of Siege. And both these teams, regardless of this map's outcome, have definitely shown up today, so either way, a big pat on the back, but there's still work to be done. And right now, Bandits, they have to put in that extra little bit of work if they want to make this game that little bit closer.
Wondering where Bandits think is the safest option to push at the moment, as traditionally we get to see them consistently push this exhibition first, which we've got two players left to deal with, Cade, and you've also got a player who's playing in Shrine as well. It's an interesting way to use the observation blocker actually in terms of trying to hide the Cades, but you're able to find out exactly where it is, let those yellow pings go off as well, and hopefully you can deal with that. You've got the pocket EMPs that Drift has brought out on the global utility of Lion. So he's able to find and open up that office wall easily as well. And you can see the trick coming out as well. I don't believe you've got enough time. So House Wall will be able to open up easily as well. And he was using the Cade position that we talked about earlier that we got to see Naughty Sausages use up against Panic and needing to hold out that top house of the God Wall.
Yeah, it's definitely a good position, and I think they were utilizing it, but when you do have those EMPs and the intel of where it is, you're able to clear it rather nicely. So good work from Bandits there to read into that, and the line scans are going to come out though, and they're going to start to push on the side, but they're going to be careful of Faulty below having this vert on here, and Drift TKing Lonely. Maybe that was some payback for earlier when Lonely TK'd Eraser, but Eraser finds the trade back, and it's just those sort of mistakes that you don't want to be happening, especially on map 3. It's going to cost you, but Faulty finding a pick from below with that C4, but he's going to be spotted out by JPK, little bit of a whiff, and Faulty is able to find not one, not two, but almost three, as Eraser is left to that little bit of a HP. I thought he downed him, but luckily Eraser got away with his life, and MML, he's just clearing these corners, trying to find something of this control.
Oh, the timing of the swing there. Luckily, MML was able to pull it together. Decided to shoot the head of Faulty instead of the observation blocker, which very, very close there for him. Now, this is a really hard position to be in if you are Bandits, especially for Eraser being left down to about 10 HP. Now, Kulo is looking to deal with him as well, as Eraser is the only person inside of Terrace at the moment. He needs a little bit of backup from MML, who is in top of the Shrine at the moment towards these roofs positions. Now, the frag grenades will be tossed out. The default cam spotting him out. Eraser finding the head in the end, and the positions are being given up. You can work your way for these head holes now. Rice on the prone position behind T. Ireland in the middle. Hopefully you can be able to get a kill, but Kulo MML's being able to spot him out thanks to the drone. Mackenzie being able to spot out Organiser and doubles for the side of Kill Squad.
No, it's just looking tough for Bandits right now. You know, they're just Kill Squad. They're not leaving any room to breathe for Bandits right now, and they're just having all laughs all around. Rice, you know, being a little bit of a prone player. He used to be a staple. You know, a Blackbeard prone player was his thing, but he doesn't use Blackbeard all that often anymore. And the prone will remain, though, and the prone will help him win that gunfight. And unfortunate for Bandits, they're letting this slip away. It seems like a complete flip, but we saw on Villa, no, Bandits, they had a 5-1 lead, and then it almost slipped out of their hands. So if Bandits can win this next round here on the attack, have that 4-2 split, Elijah, that's perfect going on to that defense.
You gotta hope that they can hit a 4-2. I mean, Bandits need to get some rounds in their name, otherwise the split won't look that comfortable for them. And I say that with a little bit of skepticalness, because we always said every map that we've seen so far, actually, that the switch up is going to look uncomfortable for the team who has the least amount of rounds in their name. But by the looks of comebacks and clutches that we've seen from the opposing team who has the rounds down, it is completely doable and plausible for Bandits to, out of nowhere, wake up in the end and start getting rounds against Kill Squad in the second half.
It's just whether these rounds here on the attack will get to them or not when they do eventually switch over. So hopefully that isn't the case, and hopefully they can prosper when they are on the defense. But look at the intel coming in from MML. They are aware of the lurk from Mackenzie and Faulty. And Faulty's going to take the big, you know, amount of that damage. He's about on 40 HP now. So already they're getting that intel, but doesn't matter about the intel. Faulty able to find Drift, but MML on the trade, and now it's all left to Mackenzie on the roam. He's trying to find them, but MML putting in the work to keep his team in this. And that's his second, but they got to sort of slow things down now. You know, Organiser, he's on about 70 HP. He does have 2 nades in hand. Utilize that and then work out what you want to do next. But they have the thermite. They can open this wall. They just got to play their cards right, and this round can be theirs. But the IQ spotting out the Cade Claws. The nade's going to come out. It is going to do some damage, but not enough to finish off Ben. He's going to peek the hatch. He's playing a little bit aggressive here, but I think Organiser is sort of aware, but at the same time, he's just waiting. They've got the pings. They've got the intel, Elijah. And he goes down. No That's what we want.
Nice shot. Nice play. Nice communication coming out from Bandits. A different sort of attack that we're seeing from them at the moment. Just crumbling before Kill Squad. But Rice will be the first to bring it back, though. Deny the frag grenade of MML from finding a player potentially sitting inside of Exhibition. Now they're going to need to get their execute working as the exothermic charges. They have been blown to open up the office wall. Now Organiser will be the first person to take the engagement here as he is trying to find a line of sight inside. Now the other player utilizing the exothermic charge back on top of the guard wall. Don't believe it'll be detonated. Yes, it will. Nothing to deny that, as well as Kulo is able to find a pick off screen as well. And now we're back down to a 2v2 with 36 seconds left. JPK is downstairs, lonely, being the only person to do some flashes through the drone hole. See if he can get himself some time, some avenues to get inside of Exhibition here, because he needs to work on the jump through as the rotate happens from JPK on the repels to see if he can contest Kulo hiding behind the center of offices. Now here come the flashes, the one my disc will deny. Little bit of a dancing back and forth through the tables now as they're both dedicating for the officers now. Yellow pings to go out. You're able to see the feet. Rice taking a huge amount of HP in that engagement. Kulo being able to finish off Lonely down to a 2v1. He's made his say inside a lounge, but there's no time left. Kill Squad will secure themselves yet another round thanks to time.
No, Bandits. How did you let that slip from your hands? It was a 4v2, play together, play the trades. But no, Kill Squad, no matter the situation that they face, they're able to overcome and adapt. And they find themselves being at that 5-1 split at the half. And Faulty, you can see just the tips of his cheekbones. He's having a good old time. So is Rice, so is Banana. They're enjoying what is happening on this third map, and it doesn't seem the same for Bandits. It's not looking good.
They need to work back here. I mean, that looks like it was going to be Bandits ran, but Kill Squad, they could prevail to find themselves at a 5-1 deficit. Bandits need to work themselves back, get themselves some rounds. And now we've done the switch up. Bandits, I feel like they have room to get themselves some rounds with their attack. I mean, defense, sorry. Because I feel like a lot of teams are more comfortable defending this map than attacking. So, doable? Is it too much to ask for? I mean, I guess that's debatable. We've seen comebacks happen before. I think it can happen again.
It definitely can. I mean, they have the defense. We just saw Kill Squad dominate on the defense, but the thing is, you know, Kill Squad, they had the room to make the mistakes. Bandits don't have that same gift. If they let any rounds sort of slip, well, at least one, Kill Squad get that benefit of securing that match point. So if you're Bandits, you don't want to allow that to happen. And you know what else Bandits don't want to allow to happen? They don't want Chef Jeff to be right. He guessed that he was the only one that guessed Kill Squad's winning this series. It was a 2-1 guess as well. So Bandits, don't let your rival of Chef Jeff, you know, guess the correct outcome of this series. Prove him wrong and bring it back here on Skyscraper so that we can all witness it in all your glory. But there's still a lot of work to do, and don't be allowing yourself to be caught out like that, JPK. You are on that 60 HP. You can still do some damage with that, but you gotta be careful of putting yourself in those positions. But he will get away with his life, but he finds the trade of that damage back, and he actually finds the kill and the head of Ben. That's your line. So no standing still for the side of Bandits. No global utility or flash grenades going to be coming on through.
Which is what was used effectively as well in terms of keeping these players still and utilizing the frag grenades and flash grenades effectively. It was really, really helpful now. Getting that removed is going to make it a little bit harder and give Bandits a little bit more freedom in how they can move about the site. Now, they're going to need to still get control of Drum and Shriners. They haven't got any control there yet. But in terms of the control over Terrace and Exhibition has been done quite easily with no real punishment other than Ben getting faulted off to the rappel in that Terrace double window.
Oh, he's gone prone here. We've seen how good the prone can work out for some, and JP's going to be careful here, but he finds the better of the engagement and finds the head of Faulty. That's a good frag to get. That's been the top fragger for Kill Squad in this game, but Rice, he finds the trade onto MML, but Drift to find the trade back, and Bandits on the defense, they have it a little bit more locked down. They're able to find the plays off of each other to find the trades, and so far so good, but 30 seconds left. 2v4. We've seen Kill Squad in a similar situation on the defense. Can they do it on the attack? The spray is through the drum, but Drift to find his, and now it's all left to Mackenzie, and Drift knows where he is. A quick pistol through the wall, I believe. I don't know, but he's able to find the kill, and Bandits looking confident on the switch up, Elijah, and are they on for the comeback?
I think they could be going for their little bit of a revenge tour from what we've seen on Villa. We got to see Kill Squad as soon as we hit their half. They were able to win so many rounds consecutively in a row, but you don't want to have the same outcome from Villa because eventually the winners were the people who got to the match point first. So this could be Bandits following that narrative and having that story in their back pocket, getting some clutches, getting some rounds in their favor before they manage to hit that that match point. But Kill Squad, they're only one round from there, sorry. They could secure their match point at any given moment, whether you make a mistake or not.
It's really who's capitalizing off of each other's mistakes more, and Kill Squad in that first half definitely capitalizing off Bandits' mistakes, but now it's Bandits' time to shine and time to bring it all back. So capitalize on any mistake that is, you know, shown in your wake, and really do some damage here in the second half. And they've already kicked it off with the first round. The defense claimed to be theirs. And can they continue their run? And it'd be a good testament. Imagine coming back all the way to winning the whole thing, Elijah. It'd be an insane concept and an insane thing to carry out, but a story for the ages for sure.
Well, the amount of hype that it can bring doing a comeback as well.
Oh,
No, the kill, Mackenzie, it will elude you, and Drift will be able to find it in the end because he is just that much sharper at the moment. You had the intel, you had the first swing as well. Unfortunately, you are unable to connect the shots though, and the round will swing in Bandit's favor this early on as your entry has been lost. Now it's all up for the last 4 members of the squad to work it back though. Nobody there to refrag you yet.
I do believe that's all their EMPs, Elijah, so they're not going to be able to open up these walls. I mean, they do have an ace and a thermite, so if one of those were to fall, they have access to another hard breach. But when you don't have access to the EMPs, how are you meant to get rid of that K-Claw on the wall? And that's what they're going to have to be dealing with now as 2 players choose to push from this shrine side, and JPK's in a little bit of an engagement. Just tags all round, nothing to be too lethal as of yet, but Organiser to find the pick onto Rise. Faulty trying to find some picks through this god wall. It's just absolute chaos unfolding in front of us, Elijah.
Lion Scan's gonna go out though to see if they can stop the positions. Faulty will be able to collect a kill onto Lonely in due process thanks to the global utility information being provided. And he is still stuck on this god wall, which he can't open or vault inside because the Cade Claw has reactivated. All the EMPs are gone, so you need to get control of Shrine to shoot it out first. A little bit of a flank being done though as Drift is able to capitalize the kill onto Ben, but Kulo is going to get one back. A little bit of a spin back by him to get out JPK. Faulty still remains on this god wall though, trying to get his way into exhibition. Organiser being able to collect the kill onto Kulo though, and finding a double onto Faulty.
Organiser on the Jaeger, clean with it, and it's coming. It's coming true, Elijah. Will it happen? They've already secured 2 rounds on the defense. Can they continue? Kill squads have managed to do it before. Now it's your turn, Bandits. There's some smiles being passed around on their side. That's what you need to carry on as you go to that tertiary site that we always think is a little bit iffy when teams choose to play it. And obviously they're forced to. It's either that or you go to that bedroom, bathroom. But no team really wants to go there. It's a little bit harder to hold, a lot more vert on that side, and a little bit more boxy. So most teams want to go to this barbecue kitchen, a little bit more spacious, a little bit easier to hold from above, and they're going to do just that. Some interesting picks to come around, though. They bring the Legion and the Fenrir, so they want all the intel in terms of the entries. And it worked out well for them last time. I mean, Drift was a little bit caught off guard, but he did win the engagement in the end, so hopefully when he's running around the map, he's a little bit more aware that Kill Squad sort of like to just charge on through and get the control from those wacky sort of spots.
I think this is the aspect of these sort of comebacks that we don't really mention too often, but it's something to definitely take into account, is that when you are this many rounds up and out of nowhere your opposition just start winning rounds over and over and over again, obviously, I mean, everybody's human, you start to think about it in the back of your mind, oh my god, this might be chokeable, you know, they can potentially win this back. And the more and more you let that just eat away in your brain, the stronger it gets, and you start to begin to doubt yourself and second guess yourself, and then before you know it, the choke has begun. And it happens. It always does. I've seen it happen before. It can happen again. So you need to work out how you can eliminate that factor and secure yourselves more rounds without letting it get to you too much, without overthinking the positions that you're in. Obviously, you can't underestimate the people that you are versing, but don't overthink things too much. Don't overcomplicate things.
That's it. At the end of the day, if you do the basics, if you tick all the necessary boxes, it can result in those round wins, but sometimes you need to do those questionable plays and those interesting plays to get the better of your opposition. But Sometimes simple is best, and they're just holding MML. They know that he's in this corner and he's sort of stuck here, Elijah, but they're also pushing from the other side with the Monty and the Yana, so they're really trying to get control of the map with this, which we didn't see Bandits do, but it's a good idea. But will it work out for them? Already halfway in the round, and they're all just stalling. They're all just waiting for one to peek in front of the other, and for the most part, it looks like Bandits, they're just willing to hold this ground and not give up this first pick.
Time is ticking, and time, it can be a huge problem, especially in Siege within itself as well. And by the looks of it, it's looking like it's going to come down to the last few seconds in this attack or defense in terms of getting this diffuser down. Now, Faulty will be the very first person to get the pick, but immediate 2 trades come out for Kill Squad and Bandits as MML finds a kill for himself, but traded back by Faulty will take it to a 4v3. So we're still in the side of Kill Squad at the moment. They're looking very healthy, but they're kind of scattered around the rest of the map. Now, control is being forfeited really well for the side of Kill Squad. They still got the Monty up as well. The smokes are being distributed to cut off a few lines of sights as well. The other thing is to go out to spot out the last player who was holding inside a barbecue, but the cross angles have been set up as well for the sushi bar. He's able to avoid those pistol plays as well. Not only that, but JPK, he's still alive and he's playing this Warden, and he is ready for the drop down as well from Geisha, and also the jump in as well. Looks like the frag grenade's being cooked. I don't believe there's an ADS. It will connect. Kulo will be able to find the pick onto JPK and even things up just a little bit more. Martinez with a pistol play and the melee. Mackenzie, wow. A huge statement to make.
And Elijah, that's the match point secured for Kill Squad. So now it's either that they win it in this regular time, or we go to that overtime for map 3. Now, that's something that Bandits have to work towards. They're going to win 3 rounds in a row. The game is on. Can they do it? This is... it's too intense. I don't like this. My heart can only handle so much, but I'm sure the players themselves would also be feeling the pressure. And it's interesting to me that they haven't chosen to take a timeout at all yet either. They just want to keep powering on through. They don't want to slow down anything. They just want to keep going, taking it round by round, and hopefully that is the thought process coming in from Bandits.
I liked the different sort of play that they made last round. Usually we're used to seeing these teams stick to the frag potential, always having 5 guns up, you know, utilizing your mechanical skill amongst everything else. Last round, trying something a little bit different, bringing out the Monty instead, and although you're losing a gun, you are making it so easy to get that control safely and effectively, as it is that spearhead like we always talk about in the attack side. So them utilizing him like that, a very, very advantageous side for them. And that'll secure them their match point as well quite easily, I would say, as Monty himself finding 2 kills in the process. Now they're choosing to bring 5 guns out instead, but this time they have a gun and the OCE shield, which we talk about how strong OCE has become in the meta.
Is this going to be a little bit of a rush? They have the Ying, so maybe they're going to Ying through here in Karaoke and go for something cheeky in Geisha. There's no one playing in Geisha right now. Elijah Drift, he is coming a little bit closer to it, but for the most... Oh, no, there is! I didn't see him.
I think he's playing slow at the moment. Trying to stay as safe as you can, hold the crossfires, but it does look like Kill Squad are focusing their attention for Geisha.
They're definitely trying to work their way in there and make use of the control of that. But Faulty, he's going to take the first damage in the round at about 50 HP for him. The wall is open. They've got plenty of time to work with. They want to go for this Geisha push, but they have all the crosses here. JPK, he's going to be careful of this terrace double window, but Faulty will fall. Drift will open that up. He'll find 2 onto Kulo as well. So no nade is going to be coming out from that side. Triple for him as he swings the window. And Drift's going absolutely big. He's keeping his team in this. He's not wanting this to be over just yet. He wants his team to take map 3. He wants them to win this. JPK to find the 4th. And a flawless round from Bandits. What a way to keep your team in the game, Elijah. And can they do it for another 2 rounds?
A very, very strong performance coming out from Bandits, and then again securing what could be a comeback for both of these teams. Only 2 rounds separate these teams now as we're at a 6-4 on the scoreboard. 1 round needs to be made by Kill Squad if they so hope to secure this map and get themselves just that closer to that grand final. Bandits aren't having any of it though. They want to be the winners of the semi-finals winners bracket. Prove Chef wrong.
They do. They want to prove him wrong and prove everyone wrong, because I'm sure everyone watching think that this will be a GG rather shortly and Kill Squad take it, but Bandits, with the way, if they play like that in these next 2 rounds, they can get into this overtime and then it's anybody's game once again, but they got to get themselves there. And you know, I'm a believer. You know, we did vote for them, but regardless, they are the underdog right now, and I believe in the comeback. It is doable.
Locate and defuse a bomb.
I'm on the switch up now. I'm feeling the pressure that I felt for Bandits up for Kill Squad. Or for Bandits again, actually. But now I'm feeling it for Kill Squad. The pressure of the comeback. The last time, Bandits winning it really easily. And we got to talk about the pressure that we felt by that comeback being a potential aspect. This time, I'm feeling a little bit pressured for Kill Squad.
Yeah, it's not the same case as it was for Villa. Instead, Kill Squad, although they have the round advantage, they could let it slip from them. I mean, it almost did for Bandits, but they were able to secure it. Can Kill Squad secure it? Or are they going to let it slip and give the opportunity for Bandits to still find a win within this series? That is the underlying question. That is the question that will be answered for us in this round or the next. But please let it be the next.
No. They don't need to find out. Looks like they might be going for a little bit of a trick though. The EMP not connecting. That is one that has been wasted now. You're going to have to rely on the sledge, which you could potentially find a pick there, but you're getting ready to play aggressive onto the hatch. The drone's going to be given away though, thankfully. MML is able to stay with his life still intact. Grenades are going to be tossed up to the floors, but nobody's there just yet. Able to open up a little bit of a hole for yourself to potentially shoot these Cade Claws. I believe you're able to get the wall open as well and do plus. Nope, nothing to go out just yet. But Faulty will be able to get the shot onto MML. Now that was your Mamae. If you didn't put down all of your discs, you won't be able to do it any longer. Now the exothermic charges will be made as well. I don't believe he's able to trick it in time. With Lounge being open as well, that just adds so many more angles that you need to be a little bit wary of.
Yeah, having that sushi wall open is definitely going to be sort of damaging for the side of Bandits. They're not able to play in that position, which is sort of a key position to hold anyone walking through that breach. But now that they've got the control of that, can be very detrimental for this hold. And if they're able to find the pick into Terrace outside, it could do something. JPK, though, he's going to shut down Mackenzie. That's your sledge off the board. I do believe he was from below, so I don't know how he got that pick, but he's going to go for the swing. But a TK to come out, Elijah. Both teams TKing when it comes down to it, and went back to that 3v3. And JPK, he finds Ben, the C4 to go out, but the trade, and now it's all left to Rice. We're going to that final round before we could potentially go to that overtime, Elijah. As Bandits find an extra round here, they have to go to that tertiary site, but can they do it?
I think it's completely doable. Bandits, the way that they're playing so far in their defense, absolutely just running through Kill Squad. But the last time they played this tertiary side, we got to see Kill Squad bring out a Montaigne, and that's exactly what Mackenzie is doing again. Mackenzie looking to shut this down and collect themselves their win, but hopefully Bandits are able to read into the fact that they're going to bring out Monty again, because that is what you lost to last time. You need to shut him down if you have any hopes in securing yourself an overtime. You got the Legion. Hopefully. Yeah, you got the Legion. You got the Doc. you've got those gates. Doable. 1 C4, 2 impacts.
I got the goosebumps, man. I don't know if I can handle the pressure. These players just making this game that little bit closer, that little bit more back and forth. But the pressure's on. Can they keep this up? You can't lose now, Bandits. You've made it all the way to this match point and going into the overtime. You need to close it and go into the overtime and win the whole thing. The comeback of the century, you know.
You could imagine the pressure that is on Mackenzie right now, being the Montaigne that needs to stay alive. It is what was the spearhead, the pinnacle, the anchor, the rock for your team last time. You need to stay alive to support the rest of your team. If you fall early, it could all fall apart, and the match point, it won't be secured by you, and it will be forfeited to Bandits, taking you to overtime, where again, it could be anybody's game. But it looks like they're going for the same sort of push. Mackenzie being the first person to enter on top of these black stairs as well. They don't have a Fenrir this time. There's nothing that's up top. Pressure. There is a player at the bottom of black stairs though, but he is dedicated to stopping the jump in from the bathroom. Looks like there is nobody really being the first engaging player to Mackenzie on top of these black stairs though, but they should be aware of his position as they have got head holes open inside of Geisha.
They do have the angles available to them, but are they going to utilize them to find these picks? And JPK is actually going to go down, but MML, if he can find the pick, he is a dock, and he does go down. Faulty down, and there is one terrorist double window. Eraser, be careful, but Mackenzie's going to take out Drift, and then Ben is going to take out MML. So we're down to this 3v3 as JPK, he does get res, he does get put back to that full HP, and some of those players with Kill Squad, they're a little bit tagged up, but they do have a Monty, so there's only 3 guns up, and then that 4th player is a bit of a live droner, but but he does go down. JPK can go for the res. They don't have the dock to heal anymore, and Ben's gonna come into delivery, backed up by Rice. 1 minute left on the clock, Elijah. It's all gonna unfold in front of us, but Monty, he's getting bullied in the side. He's gonna get taken out. Triple for Eraser, but does he know that the push is coming from here? And we're down to that 2v2 again. Both the players here from Kill Squad are a little bit tagged, but are they aware of the main stairs player here? They know where the push is coming from. 40 seconds on the clock.
Need to clear him out. The yellow ping will go out and reveal JPK's position. I don't know if he heard the drone. He's able to rotate away safely though. Connect to that top floor. Geisha control, utilize the hatch to his ability. Hopefully they didn't reinforce it off, as Lonely is needing to stop out this push. It's going to take a huge amount of HP in his engagement. JPK to rotate to the bottom of the barbecue black stairs. Now he's going to be the very first person to take the engagement. Ben connecting onto Lonely will take it to a 1v2, but immediately finding 2 to close it out, and it's a GG, ladies and gentlemen. Kill Squad taking the best of the BO3.
Kill Squad, you have done your team absolute wonders in this series, and just quickly denying Bandits from winning that and taking it to the overtime. Wow, what a showdown.
Bandits doing the best that they can to get their comeback working, and it came down to a very, very last 2v2, I believe it was, and they dealt with the Monty. They dealt with all those hard aspects that they needed to, but I guess in the end, Kill Squad being able to read into the last 2 positions of Bandits, able to find those very last few kills to secure themselves that map 3. Very successful day for them. You gotta be happy with that, as now they've secured themselves their grand final and kicking Bandits down to that lower bracket. So we've still got one more game for those guys to see at a later date, but a big congratulations for Kill Squad for winning that one out, and they're gonna be able to go to that grand finals happy, and hopefully they're ready for the next match. Maybe they do their homework. I'm gonna guess, KJ, how do you think the grand final is going to be between their next matches? Because our next match is Bandits versus Naughty Sausages.
Naughty Sausages. I think Naughty Sausages, they're a frag-heavy team too. They like to sort of play maybe a little bit more aggressive than Kill Squad, but definitely the same sort of, play where they take the gunfight to the enemy team regardless of the, side that they're on. So I think if Bandits, they could be a little bit burnt out. The upcoming game for that game, I'm pretty sure, is on this Friday. So they got a little bit of time to prepare and whatnot. But the thing is, they have to play that lower bracket. And if they play that lower bracket, then they have to, then play the grand final a couple days later or the next day after. So it's a lot of work, and they've got to be prepared for it. But, they're not out entirely. Like you said, they're in that lower bracket. They still have another chance of going to that grand final, but there's more work to be done. But we're going to get that interview from the Kill Squad themselves, and we get to talk and see the insight from the man, the myth, the legend, Mackenzie. How are we feeling tonight?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
We're good. But that victory towards the end in Skyscraper there, it was almost the same sort of story for what Bandits had on that Villa. You guys almost came back on that map, but on Skyscraper, how were we feeling towards the end there?
Oh, look, it's a defender-sided map, and it was always going to be a bit of a struggle attacking that one. But we were pretty determined not to take to another overtime because we're quite sick of those.
Yeah, also, I got to agree. I liked the fact that you guys were able to read into bringing out that Monty towards the end there. That was a smart play to sort of diversify the way that you guys handled that. All three maps. You looked like you guys were a little bit struggling with the switch-ups. You guys did really well on overtime for all three of these maps. Did you guys prepare at all? Were there scrimmages, any sort of prep that went into any of this?
Not really, to be honest. We've just been, we're going through a bit of roster mania and that sort of thing. So we're just chilling. We're all mates, and that's all we need to win, really. Whereas we could tell that they did their prep, so that's why we first half of Border was a bit dicey, and then once we realized that they were just doing exactly what they read, we just changed it up, and it was easy from there.
Yeah, it looked like you guys had smiles all around, the entire game. Even when things looked rough, you still had your laughs here and there, and that's what we love to see. But going to the grand final, obviously the person that you'll be versing is still to be decided between Naughty Sausages and Bandits, but that grand final will be a best of 5, but you've secured that spot. How are the boys feeling about that one going forward?
Oh, well, we were falling asleep at the end there, so it's pretty late for everyone. So I don't know how we're going to handle a best of 5, but, it's going to be good fun. Just going to be a long night.
Awesome. I'm glad that you're excited for that. But before we let you go, though, you've got, like KJ said, one more round before you get to see who takes you to the grand final between Naughty Sausages or Bandits. Do you have any messages for one of those two teams?
They can do their best, but it's not going to help.
I like it. The confidence, it definitely paid off today. But any last words for the fans and the viewers out there, Mackenzie, from that performance?
Oh, well, shout out to Faulty. He went nuke in the last map, and he was feeling himself, so got to respect that. The boys have been vibes all around. That's how we're winning. To all the fans, to Claire, to Kill Squad, the gang.
For sure, but that's us done and dusted for the interview. Thank you for sharing your insight, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your night playing off of that win. And enjoy the rest of your week, Mackenzie.
Cheers.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, yeah. I mean, I like it. I mean, those sort of egotistical things. I mean, I feel like everybody really likes those sort of players and stuff like that. Not only in like esports, but we all love like a Conor McGregor. Someone who's really egotistical and he knows what he's talking about and stuff like that. So, I mean, he's gonna take that energy into that grand final where we've only got one more game for you guys to witness who is going to be the contestant there for their BO5, and I'm definitely excited for that. I know you are. I'm sure a lot of other people are as well. But as you can see, the results ahead of us, Kill Squad looking very, very strong, and big congratulations to them. And although they indicate a little bit of a difference, Bandits played exceptional against them as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing how their map goes, and now that they are knocked down to their lower bracket.
Yeah, and we can take a look at that bracket to see those confirmed dates and times for all of those in the chat that want to be interested on when those games will be played and how the bracket has progressed so far, if you've missed any of those games, and how we got to the teams that are competing tonight and in the future. So we had in our winner bracket, Kill Squad beating Naughty Sausages, knocking them down to the lower bracket, and Bandits beating Panic, knocking them into that lower bracket. So then Bandits and Kill Squad, they just versed just then, and Kill Squad winning that 2-1. Now in the lower bracket, we saw early in the week Trident winning 2-1 against Nutty in a very similar fashion to tonight, where it was overtime games and very close games. And then Naughty Sausages beat Trident in a 2-0 fashion, and then they beat Panic in a 2-0 fashion. So back-to-back 2-0s for them, and now we get to see that lower bracket semi-final between Naughty Sausages and Bandits on the 16th of June at 7 p.m. So I'm pretty sure that'll be in 4 days' time. So that'll be on that Friday. So if any of you have that day free or are looking forward to some more Siege action, that'll be on then. And then we have that grand final 2 days after on the 18th, which is the Sunday of next week. This week. And I'm looking forward to all of these games. And so far, the playoffs have been absolutely amazing, Elijah.
Yeah, I've enjoyed every single moment of it. And an interesting factor to take into account, KJ, is now that we're hitting closer to the either lower bracket semi-final, no matter which team wins, whether it's Naughty Sausages, whether it's Bandits, they both are on a little bit of a revenge thing against Kill Squad, because Naughty Sausages, they lost 2-0 to Kill Squad on the very beginning of our playoffs, and because of them, Naughty Sausages were knocked down to that lower bracket, and now Bandits, they find themselves in the lower bracket as well. So a little bit of a revenge game coming out from both of those teams to see who is the better to verse Kill Squad yet again for that grand final for a very long night of BO5. But I mean, game has been done. Let's have a look at our predictions, KJ, because you and I are sadly both wrong, and Chef Jeff being the only person who predicted right this time. I believe he was right on the 2-1 as well. Yes, he was. So finally, it's all been done. We're all pretty wrong. Chef Jeff from the very beginning thought that he was right. So a little bit heartbreaking, but it's fine.
It's okay. It's okay. Bandits, you let Chef be right. We never let Chef be right. And unfortunately for them, they will be in that lower bracket, but they still have that opportunity to go to that grand final, and then they might have a revenge sort of tour, Elijah, in that grand final. So they still have to take on Naughty Sausages, and if Naughty Sausages go into that grand final, Elijah, they also have a revenge tour. So either way, we will be getting that sort of revenge tour in that grand final, no matter which team makes it. But that is us all done and dusted for today, and what a game and a day it's been. But any last words before we head off, Elijah?
That'll be all it for us. Big thank you guys for coming in and welcoming us and enjoying our semi-finals for our winners bracket playoffs. As next we'll be having a lower bracket to decide who are the players who are going to go up against Kill Squad. If you guys are excited for that, come back in on Friday, I believe you said it was, where we will be able to have a look at that. But until then, just as always, stay safe, stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. See you guys then.